Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, cats and kittens. Grab your mittens. And we are back. Another episode of the Nateland podcast. Hello, folks, and hey, Bear. I'm sitting alongside. I forgot how to start this thing, but I'm happy to be here. This is Aaron Weber speaking. I'm alongside my good friends, my old pals, my compadres, Brian Bates.
All right.
And Dusty Slay.
Okay.
Nate is not here.
I thought you did a good job.
Thanks, dude. I think it's good to mix it up every now and then, get a little different energy to start things out.
I like that.
You know? But it's good to be back. I feel like I haven't seen you on forever. I know it's only been a week, but I've seen you in a long time.
Well, you missed a week last time. I missed a week.
Oh, it has been more than one.
Yeah.
Wow, how about that? You kind of sound like Nick Novicki. Have you been told that?
I think
Similar
so.
voices.
I think so.
Yeah, you got a southern accent, but the tonality of it is the same.
Yeah, he's got a good voice.
It's not an insult.
No,
He's
got a good voice.
That's right.
I give it up to him.
We got couple announcements. These are big things happening in the Nateland universe. I want to shout out before we get rolling on another killer episode here. Nick Thune, friend of the podcast, very funny comedian. He's been on the podcast before. He's been doing stand-up forever. I'm a huge fan of him. Longtime friend of Nate. He has a brand new half-hour special called Born Young on the Nateland YouTube. Check it out now. If you're watching this on YouTube, look back a couple videos, and then you'll see it. It's called Born.
Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I remember you guys losing it about how stylish you thought he was. You guys couldn't control yourselves.
Well, I don't know about that.
No, I don't think that's accurate at all.
Losing it. We did a fashion episode with him.
And what's really happened is Dusty got his feelings hurt because he thinks he's stylish, and we said I'm more stylish. Dusty,
I don't think I'm stylish, but you guys were really losing it over it. Maybe it was Nate.
Yeah,
maybe it was Nate losing it.
You think you're better dressed than Nick Thune?
No, I don't think that. Okay. But you guys were,
all right.
You guys were really getting into it.
Well, check out the special Born Young. It premiered this weekend. It is so funny. Brian and I opened for that. We're listed at the end of
We are?
credits. Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Okay, that's
Opening
cool,
comics, Aaron Weber and Brian Bates.
That's good to hear because I opened on your special and I did not get listed.
Well, that's because I wrote all those credits for my own. But I gave you special thanks.
Yeah,
I thought that would mean more than
I'd like both,
the thing I was contractually obligated to do.
Yeah.
I was like Nick
Brian Bates
Novicki.
opened, and special thanks to Brian.
Exactly. It's like, what is this, Brian Bates a special, or is this Aaron Weber special?
I just told all my family that be watching, because I was, and then I wasn't the credit. I was just
How many
upset.
times was Aaron thanked on the dry bar specials?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, the difference is again, Aaron didn't open for me in Salt Lake City,
That's true.
Okay.
or Provo, excuse me. So
That is true.
I'm sorry about that.
Yeah.
But Born Young, very funny. Nick is, I think if you've been following Nateland for a while, it is definitely a little different than some of the Nateland stuff you've seen. Like he's got a style all his own, but I think that's fun. I think it's cool to mix it up. And it's like, there's all different kinds of comedy. Nick is really, really, really funny. He's really good at what he does. So check it out. I think you'll like it. Also, fun announcement here. Nateland presents. We got a big show coming up as part of the Nashville Comedy Festival. Nateland presents Good, Clean, Funny at the Ryman Auditorium here in Nashville. This is April 8th. It's a pretty amazing lineup. Friends of the podcast, people you've seen before. Ryan Hamilton, Dustin Nickerson, Derek Stroop, Lace Larrabee, Mia Jackson, Paula Kaczynski, and I'm hosting.
special host
Aaron Weber. That's fun. They put special in front of it, so it feels like it's more than what it is. But I'm hosting that show at the Ryman Auditorium. Pretty cool. Nateland doing a show at the Ryman. So come check that out. That's going to be a lot of fun. Part of the Nashville Comedy Festival. And as always, check out our other great podcast, The Consumers, every Tuesday. Don't make me come back there every Thursday. Let's get rolling.
I got a show that night too at Zany's. I'll put you on it.
April 8th?
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
I do have that. It's been on the, so.
Oh, that's probably sold out.
It will be.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hot show.
It sells out every month.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be a hot show.
April 8th, I think that was...
I do think it's weird that we are on the same night. I didn't realize that. I'm not upset about it.
Okay.
But I want you to let you know that there's a show at Zany's on April 8th.
Okay. So you have a lot of options for comedy.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Get out there. Get into it.
And Aaron's special signature disc, 290,000 views.
Is that real?
And climbing, yeah.
Whoa!
I just
How about
checked.
that, huh?
How about that?
Yeah, Mario Lopez shouted it out on Access Hollywood.
All right.
Yeah.
I was like, all right, I like Mario Lopez.
Yeah. Loved it.
Saved by the Bell.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
I don't know who the female host was, but she said you were cute.
I don't know, but I'm into it.
Yeah.
I didn't know who she was either, but
Yeah.
I like what she's doing.
Yeah.
You know?
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
All right, what'd they say?
She just goes, he's cute.
Ah,
And I was like, all right, I'll make
okay.
that a clip.
Yeah.
All right.
You know?
Brad Pitt again.
Yeah. What did Mario Lopez say though?
He's
very
He
exciting.
basically read my bio on air, but it was pretty nice.
Yeah, he said he liked the special.
I mean, he didn't
He
watch
said
it.
he replaced Dusty Slade as the youngest comedian on the Grand Ole Opry.
I did say
Okay.
that. Yeah. Anyway,
That's
So,
awesome.
it's been good. A lot of fun things happening. I had a fun weekend. Brian, what did you get into this weekend? Let's
All right.
let's catch up a little bit.
Yeah. So Friday, I was in Bozeman, Montana.
Oh yeah,
What a
Last
town.
love
best
Montana.
comedy club. It's my first time there.
Was your first time doing comedy in Montana?
First time in Montana.
Oh, okay.
So yes.
So how many states do you have left? Do you keep track of this? Like
I haven't
like
looked
do?
lately. I mean, I've got a few.
Okay.
Um,
Montana's a big one to check off though, because
Mhm.
it's just aren't a ton of places to go up there unless you're
Mhm.
doing theaters and stuff.
Two shows. First show sold out. The late show did not. But shout out to Hunter Lloyd who opened for me. He picked me up at the airport. He took me around Bozeman, showed me the sights, took me to the airport the next morning at a very ridiculously early time. So thanks, Hunter. And he did a great job on the show. So
Yeah.
it was great.
When I was in Bozeman, there was an opener for me, and we asked him to be clean, and he was so filthy. And
Was that at Last Best?
And then left before the show was over. No, it was some other venue.
Mhm.
I don't remember what it was. It was a great show though.
So that was
So,
Friday.
Hunter Lloyd. I'm just saying, they're not all that good.
Yeah.
They're not all the openers are that good.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he kept it clean.
I like this guy though. I was fine with him. He was just insane.
Yeah, I don't think Bozeman has a lot of clean comedians.
Yeah, I don't think
he's
so.
kind of the go-to.
Yeah.
He opened for Ryan Hamilton, he said, and whenever they need a clean opener.
He did my show too. It was very funny.
Yeah. And then flew home Saturday. Then Saturday night, our pal Keith Alberstadt was here at the lab at Zany's.
Oh
Nice.
yeah.
I came down and did those shows. 2 hot shows. Keith's so funny.
Keith's the best.
He is. And then over in the main room, Joe List was over there. And I said, I'm going to go over there and see Joe because I know Joe through Nate. I got over there. He's like, I've lost my voice. I mean, I could hear him say it. And he said, Nate's on his way down to pinch hit for me. So Joe went up, did 20 minutes maybe, and then called Nate to the stage. And Nate did both shows
Wow.
Saturday night. So, it was fun. Nate and Laura came down. It was fun hanging out.
Nate Baum.
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
many people do you think were disappointed?
None.
I mean, it's got to hurt your feelings a little bit, though, huh?
But I think he still gave him a show, but it was just obvious my voice is gone. I can't speak as well as I'd like to. So I'm going to do what I can, but then here's a little added benefit of the biggest comic in America.
Yeah.
So I think that's fair.
What happened to his voice?
He said he felt perfectly fine. Friday night, he said he was fine. He woke up Saturday and it just went out on him.
Does he smoke?
I don't
No,
think so.
I don't
think
think
that's
so.
the problem.
I don't think. What, that he doesn't smoke?
Yeah.
What does that mean?
And then I did a local.
Look who coughs the most on this podcast.
Yeah. Me and Nate.
Yeah, me and Dusty sound great.
But I did a local show last night. Renard Hirsch, his voice went out.
Mid-show?
No, but I mean,
It's just like a light switch.
I know I did do that, but
Yeah.
like it happened.
Renard lost his voice?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
So his act outs, were, a little different, but
Yeah.
no, he did great. But he
Renard's got a great voice.
did. Yeah.
That's a good voice.
Yeah. So anyway, it was a fun weekend of shows in Montana and shows here at Zany's.
Big time, dude.
Yeah.
I got back yesterday. Where was I? Kansas City, Missouri. Kansas City Funny Bone. I had 3 great shows. They were all packed. Very fun. I had never headlined in Kansas City before, so it was cool to all right, here we go. And then look who was on the road at the theater, John Christ. The same night I was there. So we
right.
met up Met up for lunch. I'm wearing the exact same thing I'm wearing in that picture right now,
Except your eyes are shut.
which is pretty tough. But that's how I look in most pictures.
Yeah.
Who was Lee, is Lee and Zach with you?
Lee and Stroop were with John. Zach was opening for me, and this is Michael Blank, who's a very funny Kansas City comedian who hosted on my shows all weekend.
Nice.
So.
Blank's a tough name for when you're coming up and coming. You know what I mean? They're like, did they get that right, or do they not?
Michael, fill in the blank. Yeah, I'll get raw. I'll pull it up. Yeah, it's spelled differently, but that's how it's pronounced. It's blank. So you're right. That is tough.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even think about that, but he's very funny. It was his first time getting to work the club and doing a weekend and stuff. So it was awesome. And just a fun weekend. My streak at Southwest Airlines is over. I did 12 flights in a row, no seat in the next to me.
Oh yeah.
And then it finally got broken. It got broken in an annoying way where I wanted to tell the woman, like,
It's like a no-hitter gets broken up on a blue pit.
exactly. I was like, you have better options on this flight. Like, what are you doing here? I want to be like, come on, you could find it.
Maybe she watched Access Hollywood and they were like, he's cute.
Yeah.
I doubt it.
I
but
was 3 for 4 this weekend.
That's pretty good.
And the one that there was somebody was the short leg from Denver to Bozeman. So.
Okay. Yeah. So it's just like an hour or so,
Yeah,
right? It's
yeah.
not too bad.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just a cool thing when you're on the road and another comic is there.
Yeah.
And it's a more successful comic who can like take you out to lunch and stuff. So
yeah.
it's pretty fun. We hung out on the tour bus for a while and just a good weekend, man. Thank you to
Yeah,
everybody
awesome.
who came out. I met a lot of people who were like, I'm going to see John tomorrow. And then I met a lot of people who said, they're trying to see all of us. They saw you were at the club not too long ago.
Yeah.
They said they saw that and they said they're going to go see Brian next time he's out there. So
Mm-hmm. Awesome.
good stuff. Thank you, Kansas City.
All right. Well, I had no shows this weekend, but
Could have been working.
could have been working, obviously. But no. But last weekend I recorded my special. I did in Chattanooga at the Walker Theater, and it was great. Really good. 2 shows. Sold out. I think, you probably could have squeezed a person or 2 in, but it's sold out.
Standing room.
Yeah. But it was great. Just really fun shows. It was so smooth that it was really like we didn't even do that.
Wow.
The last time I'd never really done a special like that before, so it just felt like there was a lot of pressure.
Yeah.
But this year I've been doing theater, so I did this special. The first show was just smooth. The audience was hot, high energy, a lot of applause breaks. A lot of applause breaks where I'm not normally getting applause breaks.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
So was like, people were just excited. They were fired up.
That's fun.
And then, but it was good. It was good. I was like, I got it. So the second show, I was more relaxed, which was good because the energy was different. It was a different energy. Still very pumped, a lot of laughs, but like more like a regular show.
Yeah.
Not an applause break after every joke.
Okay.
But it was still, so I got looser. I did some riffing.
Wow.
I came up with a couple of jokes during the show that were good.
Okay. You'll
Couple of
probably
tags.
keep in the final cut.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fun.
And then I had a good riff about a guy kind of wheezing in the audience. And like my friends thought I planted that guy for the joke. I was like, I don't know how that came to me like it did, but it was good. We hung out at the Comedy Catch, the after party at the Comedy Catch.
Nice.
Okay.
Hung out with Danielle. I signed the wall in the green room.
The Dusty Slade Memorial Green Room.
Yeah. So it was great. It was all really fun. Chattanooga's great. I love it. I meant to bring it. I got a letter from the mayor of Chattanooga.
Whoa.
And it was pretty funny. It was the mayor of Chattanooga is funny. He's got jokes.
All right.
And so I meant to bring that, but I forgot. But
Just saying what? Like, get out of town? Please leave. Or was it like a thank you for doing it?
Yeah, thank you for doing it in Chattanooga. I had a lot of, a lot of gifts, like a hat and a shirt and a glass.
All right.
And then he was just being funny, like, I know that, you'd rather be in a Western Sizzling parking lot somewhere, stuff like that.
Wow. He's a
Good.
fan.
Yeah, he's very fun.
Nice.
That's awesome. So how
Yeah.
long's the special going to be? A couple hours?
Well, yeah, because the first one was a little over an hour, probably an hour 5.
Okay.
And then the second one was definitely longer.
Yeah.
And then I did riffs in the second one that I didn't do in the first one. So if I added those in, it would be pretty long. But I want to keep it. I'm trying to make it under an hour.
Okay.
I want it to be 59 minutes.
Wow.
Just so it won't be, but I want it to be.
Yeah.
Just so like when you're clicking around on whatever service it ends up on. We don't know where it'll be.
We don't know.
But clicking around, I feel like you're more inclined to watch something that says 59 minutes than an hour 10.
Yeah.
But it'll probably be an hour 10.
Okay.
Mhm.
With the credits and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know what I'll do at the end. I really like the thing that we did at the end of the last one.
Showing the pictures of things.
Pictures.
Yeah.
And,
The video?
and then the video at the end. I got a home video of myself as a kid telling some jokes.
That's
I think
fun.
that might be fun, but I'm like, I don't know.
You should show that Gene Hackman video.
Yeah, I know.
Just end in sadness.
Rest in peace, huh? Do you have any theories about his death? I mean, it's looking weird, huh?
Well, it looked weird, but then it looks weird no matter what.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
people were trying to debunk it. They were like, there's no conspiracies. They're like, his wife just died 7 days before him. Well, this is what the final thought is from people, that his wife,
This is the mainstream accepted.
yes,
Okay.
his wife got some disease that you get from rodents,
Mm-hmm.
All right.
and it killed her. And she died in some room. And Gene Hackman had Alzheimer's, like really far along Alzheimer's.
Okay. And he's 95.
95.
Yeah.
And they had 3 dogs. One of them was in a crate, and the other 2 were running free.
Mm-hmm.
So they think for a week, Gene Hackman didn't take his medicine that he was on because his wife was the one who administered him the medicine. He didn't know what was going on. So his wife just laid in there for a week, and then the dog was trapped in the crate, and probably he wasn't feeding it.
Ugh.
And then he has a heart attack.
Wow. Well, this sounds like the most tragic death imaginable.
Yeah.
Well, if you have Alzheimer's, I think that you'd just,
Well, I meant for the family.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
but it's like, if you have Alzheimer's, the weirdest thing to me is like, this guy, he's got to be very wealthy.
Mhm.
You don't have anybody checking up on you,
Mhm.
and you have Alzheimer's.
Well, that's how big his house is that he didn't trip over in a week or something.
if he's
You know
like,
what I
if
mean?
he's like, my grandmother had Alzheimer's, and my grandmother, we'd go visit her at the nursing home, and she wouldn't know certain people.
Mhm.
She'd be packing up. She's like, I'm about to go home. I mean, there's a possibility that he didn't even remember he had a wife.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Golly.
Yeah. It's very sad.
That's
he was,
tragic.
for all we know, for a week, he was like, wow, it sure is peaceful around here.
So once the episode's over, tell me what really happened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. You just told us what everyone knows, Dusty.
Well, but it's just still sketchy to me that like you got nobody, no nurse,
You got
nobody comes to
a
see you.
gardener or somebody.
Yeah.
Like nobody.
Family.
Yeah.
Like, because they said she might have been passed away for 7 days before he passed away, and then it was another 7 days before they were found.
Wow.
So for 2 weeks, nobody comes to check on you.
Mhm.
That's sad to me. You could live a life like that, like Gene Hackman lived. With he's like this well-respected actor.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Gene Hackman. I don't know
Yeah,
anybody that's like, oh, I hate Gene Hackman.
Right. Right.
But you got nobody checking up on you.
You know, I remember years
That's
ago.
a sad end.
I think we might have talked about it on the podcast, but there was a story that went viral of an old woman who ordered Domino's every day. Every day of her life, she ordered Domino's for lunch. And then one day she fell down and broke her hip. And Domino's was like, Myrtle never called. And they went and checked on her and found her.
Wow.
So there's value in that, just get
Yeah.
takeout every day.
Yeah.
And that way,
Yeah.
it's like having a nurse come to the
A
house.
built-in support system.
Yeah. You're not going to get that with, some of these other services, but an actual restaurant.
That's right. It's not going to happen with
Right.
Factor as much as we love. But Domino's, they'll check on you.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I love that.
Ladies and gentlemen, our next sponsor, we love DeleteMe. You ever wonder how much of your personal data is out there on the internet for anyone to see? More than you think. All of it. Everything you've ever loved, everything you've ever thought, your contact info, your social security number, who you voted for, your home address, even information about your family. It's all being compiled, and data brokers are selling it online. That's why I use DeleteMe. DeleteMe is a subscription service that removes your personal information from hundreds of data brokers. Dusty, do you have personal data out there on the internet?
Honestly, so much.
Yeah, well, you need to get DeleteMe.
DeleteMe's been cleaning it up for me.
Mm-hmm.
There was more than I thought.
Oh,
as
so
it says
much.
in this ad, there was more than I thought.
Mm.
What you do is you hop on there, you provide DeleteMe with exactly which information you want deleted, and then their experts take it from there. They send you regular personalized privacy reports showing what info they found, where they found it, and what they removed. To put it simply, DeleteMe does all the hard work of wiping you and your family's personal info from these data broker websites. So take control of your data, and keep your private life private by signing up for DeleteMe. Now at a special discount for our listeners. Today, get 20% off your DeleteMe plan when you go to joindeleteme.com/Nate and use promo code Nate at checkout. The only way to get 20% off is to go to joindeleteme.com/Nate. Enter code Nate at checkout. That's joindeleteme.com/Nate. Code Nate. Should we check out these comments here? Should we get started with the comments? I mean,
Dusty, did you want to share?
Well, I have a thing, but let's do it after the comments.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Well, okay.
It's not that important, but I just wanted to do a top 5 thing.
Oh, okay.
Maybe you'll be into it.
Yeah.
I want to do top 5 Nashville coffee shops. I got into it the other day.
Okay.
And it'll give you some time throughout the comments to think about your favorite coffee shops.
Okay.
And what makes a good coffee shop for you.
Yeah.
You know?
All right. Because I bet we have different things we're looking
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
We may, we're all married now, and it's
Oh, sure.
nowadays. I think my wife goes to the coffee shop just to get out of the house for a while.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'll be thinking about that. That's fun. The comments come from Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Apple Podcast Reviews, and Nateland at NateBargatze.com. First comment comes from Mike Myers, fresh off of SNL 50, and the worst Elon Musk impression I've ever seen.
Was it bad?
I think it's terrible, but he's a legend. So what am I?
This is Mike Meyer, so
Mike Meyer. Sorry.
This is one of
it's
them.
not the Halloween.
It's just
yeah.
just one guy. Mike Meyer. I really tried not to be too negative about Dusty and Aaron. Oh,
jeez.
But they're like Beavis and Butthead now. It's like two middle schoolers with poor Brian as the substitute teacher trying to maintain control.
Yes.
Not to say they're not funny as stand-ups, and separately they're just fine, but they're a bad influence on each other. Now, that is true, the last part, I think.
Yeah.
Well, we're grown men,
I
but
agree. Who's Beavis and who's Butthead in this situation?
I don't really know. That was not a show I was allowed to watch growing up.
I wasn't allowed to watch it either,
Mhm.
strangely, because I was basically allowed to do whatever.
It's tough when Butthead's in the title.
Yeah.
They're like, well, that's not what we're looking for.
It is a funny show, though.
I've seen clips, and I
Yeah.
know what they look like. I don't
Mhm.
think they look like either of us, but I guess.
No. I mean, I think this guy, Mike Meyer, is upset that me and you are enjoying ourselves and laughing and
That's
having
probably
fun.
true. Yeah.
And
yeah.
Brian enjoys it too. I don't think
That's right.
Brian's trying to wrangle us.
No.
But,
Yeah.
but then
don't
again,
enjoy it.
Brian does pick the comment.
That's true.
Yes,
Brian,
yes.
And he let off with this one. Thank
yeah,
you, Brian.
I wanted to
I'm going to
establish.
set the tone
Yeah, set the tone.
up top. Elizabeth Bowerman. I feel 100% that an angel did pick up Aaron in Spokane. How awesome is that? I've heard similar testimonies. Yeah, I was talking to my sister about that.
I don't know this.
Well, I got real sick in Spokane.
I knew that.
I had to call 911 on myself, took an ambulance to the ER. And then on the way back to the hotel, 6 a.m., no Ubers. So I start walking towards the hotel. And then a Lyft shows up out of nowhere. A guy just picked me up. It was a $2 Lyft ride back to the hotel.
Wow.
And I said, it felt like an angel just showing up, giving me a ride back.
Wow.
And I told my sister about that. And she was like, did he talk to you at all? And I said, he didn't say a word. And she goes, yeah, that's what angels do.
I was about to say, you talking about his startup business?
Yeah, that's right.
Give you his business card at the end?
Yeah. So who knows? If it was, I appreciate it. Either way, I'm grateful.
That's very nice.
Yeah, it was
I love
really-
that.
It was really, really nice. I want to thank that.
You
dude.
should have tipped him.
Remember that song by
I tipped him really well, actually.
Remember that song by Alabama, Angels Among Us?
No. Angels in the
Yeah.
outfield?
No,
No.
different thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But great song.
Yeah, kids sing at the end.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. I love it.
Mike Heath.
Oh, Mike Heath. I know Mike Heath.
Underrated candy bar.
Don't think I've ever had a Heath
You've
bar.
never broken into a Heath bar? We
Mhm.
have you had it mixed into like a milkshake or something like that?
Maybe.
I think that's where it shines.
Okay.
On its own, it's okay. It's pretty good. It's like a toffee.
Mhm.
It's hard. It's got a little snap to it.
Mhm.
But you mix it in with like a blizzard or something.
Oh, yeah.
Heath is
I'll take your word on it.
He's the real deal. Yeah,
Well,
you
Mike
should.
Heath, I know. Very nice guy.
How do you know?
He's out of Seattle.
Oh, okay. Mike Keith says, Aaron isn't the first comic I've heard about getting sick while staying at that Spokane hotel. Did you eat at the hotel? There may have been a disgruntled employee who has a vendetta against comics. I've been investigating this for over a year. If there's something afoot, it'll be exposed for what it is.
I can see Dusty liking this guy.
Yeah, that could be fun.
I'll tell you this. This doesn't have, I didn't get any kind of food poisoning thing, but I did Tacoma Comedy Club. And then the next weekend I was supposed to do Spokane, and I flew home and I got sick.
Wow.
And I was like, well, I don't want to fly. I was like starting to get sick, and I was like, I want to give the club a heads up, but I don't want to fly all the way to Spokane and then get sick and be sick all weekend. So we rescheduled the dates. We moved it, right? And I don't get sick a lot, right?
Yeah.
But we moved it. And then the date came to fly to Spokane, and I flew, I don't know, is Spokane or Spokane? I don't know. Spokane. And I flew to Spokane, landed on a Thursday. I'm walking around on the streets, and I call my wife and I go, I think I'm getting sick.
In Spokane.
And I ended up getting sick. I did a show on Thursday, and I was like, I just need to get good sleep tonight.
Yeah.
And then I'll be fine. That night, fire alarm goes off, wakes us all up. We have to go downstairs out of the hotel. And then, so
I think Mike's onto something here.
And then I did 2 shows, sicker than Thursday. And then I was like, but I'll be fine on Saturday. Saturday, I woke up, I was even sicker. I did the shows. I did all the shows sick. And by the end, I was losing my voice. I had no voice basically on the last show.
Yeah.
But I did 5 shows sick in Spokane. And it was great. They were great shows. I think they were really good. But I don't think the hotel did it, but that's sketchy.
Yeah. I did not eat at the hotel. So I don't know what it was.
But you got sick there in Spokane.
I got sick there, man. So
you were throwing up?
Oh, so bad. The worst. One of the sickest I've ever been in my life.
And you went to the hospital?
Yeah.
I mean,
so
maybe I'll ask you this off the air.
No, they tested me. Yeah, negative for flu, negative for COVID, negative for RSV. I think it was just a kind of norovirus that they were like, it doesn't really make sense to test and find out specifically what it is, but they gave me fluids, they gave me anti-nausea stuff, and I'm all better now, but it was pretty brutal. So I'd appreciate it if you look into it, Mike. I don't know what kind of investigative capabilities you have on the ground there, but go take a look.
Yeah.
Figure out what the deal is.
I've had a couple of cigars with Mike.
Oh, how about that? I bet he doesn't cough.
Yeah.
Next comment comes from SW Darby, Swadarby. This is a rare occasion where I'm on Dusty's side. Oh, geez. Aaron should re-release his old album. I shared it with friends when he first put it on YouTube. Definitely some good bits in there. I was disappointed when I went to look for it again one day, and it was no longer there. Oh, that's very nice.
I like this person needed to, this whole comment is just, basically I want Aaron to re-release his thing, but they had to let him know that normally I don't agree with Dusty.
Yeah, normally everything Dusty says is garbage.
Yeah, but here, people say that a lot. People actually say that a lot about me. They go, normally I don't agree with him. But
right.
So I always think, maybe look into the things you don't agree with me on and ask yourself why.
Broken clock is right twice a day. You know what they say?
Yeah, but with various things, people are finding right times of the clock all the way around. So
that's true.
So maybe they should be looking into why they don't agree with me.
Yeah,
and what's wrong with them?
That's right. They should look at themselves.
Look inwards.
There was a Reddit thread I found recently about the podcast.
You shouldn't look at the Reddit.
I did. No. First, it was it was basic criticisms, and then it turned pretty anti-Dusty pretty fast.
Yeah.
And I got pretty deep into it, and then I was like, "Well, this is ridiculous. These people,
it is ridiculous.
They need to be off Reddit. They need to look into some of the things I'm saying, and it will enhance their. They're mainly.
No, they can find a lot of the stuff you're saying on Reddit. That's for sure. Just go to different subreddits.
They're just a lot of them were anti-Christian, and they were real mad about my own personal podcast too. And I'm like, guys, we're just having a good time out here.
Yeah, this is one of the rare occasions I agree with you.
Yeah.
That was good, Aaron.
Yeah, thanks, man. David Hutchinson. I was on a flight from Cartagena, Colombia, back to Atlanta from a wedding. Before we left, I downloaded Dusty's special Working Man to watch. While the flight attendant was serving me a snack and a drink, she looked down and said, "Is that Dusty Slay?" I said, "Yes." She said, I love him. He's really funny. I need to watch his new special. I told her it was really great so far.
Thanks, David Hutchinson.
That's really, really fun.
That's a rare occasion I agree with David Hutchinson here. No. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thanks for downloading it and for sharing it with
I agree
Flight
with
Attendant.
him. It was really great so far. The first 5 minutes, awesome.
Yeah. Well, that is what you worry about with the special, right? Because for me, doing a special, I'm it's like I'm recording an album,
Yeah.
right? We're like musicians, some of my favorite musicians are like, you listen to the whole album and it almost flows together in a
Right,
way,
right.
not where you got one or two hits. So when I'm putting a special together, that's what I want. It's got a bit of a build to it.
Mhm.
You're putting nuggets out there. So on the second half, you got callbacks coming in.
Right.
I'm building this whole thing.
Yeah.
And it's like, but people's attention spans today, I mean, mine is no exception. If it's not just exactly what I want from the get-go, I'm like, I'm out of here.
Yep.
Mhm.
And but I really like the new one that I just recorded. I'm very excited about it. I think it's better than Working Man, and I love Working Man.
Wow.
I'm
That's a
very
good
excited
feeling.
about it.
It's a good feeling.
That's awesome. So you did one in Knoxville and this one in Chattanooga.
Yeah.
The next one in Memphis.
There you go.
Maybe Memphis, maybe Clarksville, maybe I'm gonna work my way around and then going into Nashville. You know what I mean?
Like the Anaconda plan.
Yeah, there's also, there's Johnson City.
Yeah.
Had some good shows there. There's lots of great cities in Tennessee.
Yeah.
Matt Adams. He says, I went to Dusty's show in Chattanooga, and my date and I were an hour late. I was born and raised in Tennessee, but I now live in Huntsville, Alabama. Apparently, I missed time zone day in school and only saw
I think it's supposed to say last.
I only saw the last 25 minutes of Dusty's show, but it was stellar. I've now seen all four of you guys perform, and there's no one better or funnier than the very relatable content y'all share on stage. That's
Thank you,
really
Matt
nice.
Adams. You know what, Matt? Don't feel too bad about that. That happens to everyone.
Yep.
I've had people. Last time I
Not
was in
me.
Chattanooga, I had some friends come, and they almost missed it because the time change. I opened for Fortune Feimster in Chattanooga years ago, and they came to Chattanooga early to get dinner, but then had to skip dinner because they didn't know the time change.
Oh, okay.
My buddy Vince Fabra, who opened for me on the special, the last time he did a show with me in Chattanooga, he was almost late to the show for the time change. It's happening to people out here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, I'm texting. I left. I had Lucy's car key in my pocket. I drove here,
Mm.
so that's what she's
So
blowing me
she
up
needs
about.
to go to the hospital with the baby. You got her
Yeah.
car keys.
Well, let's hope that doesn't happen in the next hour.
Mm. So how is somebody driving her the key?
I don't know what she's doing.
Mm.
I think she'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
Maybe yeah. That's tough.
Say figure it
I
out.
can't do anything right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's why Abigail stuck her head in the studio and said, "Where are Lucy's car keys?" And I'm like, "I left them at home." And I reached in there in my pocket. So
Mm-hmm.
that's on me. That's on me.
Now
I messed up, dude. Next comment comes from Chris Wood. In order to get to the real truth regarding space, here we go. What do you think about creating a GoFundMe to get Dusty on board a Blue Origin flight? Maybe then we can really know if space travel is possible.
What's Blue Origin?
That's Jeff Bezos. That's the one that goes up on the edge of space and you're waitlist for.
Oh,
And you could pay a lot of money and do it.
I don't want to go to the edge. I want to go straight up in there.
Yeah.
No, I
wanna
think they go all the
I
way.
want to go in.
What do you
We're
mean?
going to
in?
do it. I want to go away from the Earth. I want to be able to look through the tube and or through a window and see the ball. That's what I want.
I think that's what this is.
Yeah. You can at least see the curvature. They're high enough to
Nah,
see the
I want to
curvature.
see I want to see a full ball.
How far away do you want to go from the Earth?
Far enough away to see the full ball. However far that has to be.
I don't even think they can do that on the space station, can they?
Well, I want to go farther than that then.
The moon?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the passengers see views of Earth from large windows that make up 1/3 of the capsule's surface area. So you get a great view. Passengers pass the Kármán line, which is the internationally recognized boundary of space. So, a lot of famous people, rich people have done this.
Mhm.
So, I mean, we can pool our money together and get
This is
you
the one
on
that
there,
William
Dusty.
Shatner did.
Lasts about 11 minutes. You'll experience weightlessness. It'll be pretty fun. I think we'll make it happen.
You know, those two astronauts are supposed to come home soon.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh, how are they doing it?
SpaceX is sending
Oh,
rocket up,
okay.
and I think
Seems like Blue Origin might be able to go up there and get them, huh?
well, they don't go that high
Oh, okay.
apparently. So sorry, Chris.
Maybe we save a little. Maybe we take Katy Perry and
Gail King,
yeah,
Lance
those
Bass.
are the only two names I actually know: Gail King and Katy.
I didn't know they went.
Maybe we take them out of there and bring the astronauts back.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it works quite like that, but it's good that we're getting them home.
But the point is though, if we're able to go this high, right? But we have these people: Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, the richest men in the world, and we got people stranded up in space.
Yeah.
Let's go get them.
That's what I just said we're doing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we're going to get
but
'em.
but why is it taking this long though? That's what I'm saying.
I think it was prep here on the ground. Not that I think they were preparing these new astronauts to go, and they couldn't go till they're ready.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why we don't have people ready though.
I think we.
What's Space
bet
Force
it-
up to?
I'm sure,
I don't know what Space Force is doing.
I mean, you know what I mean? You got everybody space ready.
like the fire department rescues a cat from a tree. That's what
yeah.
At least, within weeks be ready.
I
I
agree
think. If
with
their
you.
life was in danger, we could have went immediately.
Yeah, that would have expedited things. But I think it's a little more complicated than
They'll-
just jumping up and grabbing them.
Yeah.
They'll need better help when they come.
That
I'll
is
tell
for
you that.
sure,
I mean,
yeah.
you're trapped up there. Is it a man and a woman?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at least they're getting together or whatever. Because
And it's not just
sorry, I don't know if I can.
it's not just them two up there.
Yeah.
There are other people.
Oh, okay. How many?
Maybe 6, I think.
Okay. And they're only supposed to be up there 8 days or something.
Something like that.
Yeah. Now it's been 8 months.
Something like that.
That's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Funny how
real,
fast life changes.
Real Gilligan's Island up there, huh?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
An 8-day tour. That was pretty good.
Yeah, it wasn't bad.
Skipper. It feels like everything is more expensive now. Have y'all felt that?
Mhm.
It's
It is.
pretty crazy.
It is more expensive.
And I think it probably is. And the
Okay.
last thing you
Yeah.
want to do is add credit card debt right now. There's a better way. You can build credit with money you set aside and avoid interest or expensive debt with Chime's Credit Builder Card. It's a secured credit card with no credit check or minimum deposit required. Start building credit with your everyday purchases and regular on-time payments with no annual fees, interest, or credit check at chime.com. Do you have your credit score? I've noticed about the credit score is like
Yeah.
you work and you work and you work at the credit score. You do one thing wrong, it goes down a bunch.
You don't even know what you do.
You did a ton of things right, and it'll go up just a little bit. I mean, it's a terrible game. But
I've
you
had
could-
movements where they go, "Oh, you might have been charging too much, or you might have been charging too little."
Or they're
I'm
like,
"Well, let's be specific about
or they go, "Hey, you looked at it. Let's lower the score
Yeah.
a little bit." I mean, what kind of game is this? Listen, life gets easier with a good credit
it."
score.
A soft check, a hard check.
Exactly. These things all make a huge difference in life. Landlords check credit scores to even start a rental application. So having that score up can make a big difference. Chime offers no annual fees, interest, or credit check to apply. On top of that, you can use it anywhere Visa credit cards are accepted. Let's be honest. That's everywhere, dude. Who's not taking Visa? I mean, what world did you stumble into if they would deny a Visa card?
That's
I've never
true.
even heard of that. Build credit with money you set aside. Listen, turn your everyday purchases and one-time payments into steps towards your financial goals with Chime's secured credit builder Visa credit card. Get started today at chime.com/Nate. That's chime.com/Nate. Chime feels like progress. The Chime Credit Builder Visa credit card is issued by the Bancorp Bank NA or Stride Bank NA. Spot me eligibility requirements and overdraft limits apply. Chime checking account required to apply. Out-of-network ATM withdrawal and OTC advance fees may apply. Timing depends on submission of payment file. Late payment may negatively impact your credit score. Results may vary. Go to chime.com/disclosures for details. Madison Hill. In 2021, when the Braves were on their unexpected World Series run, my wife and I had a baby boy. He needed to stay in the NICU for a little while his lungs got stronger. At the same time, my buddies called to tell me they had a ticket for me to Game 4 in Atlanta. I had never been so nervous to go and make the ask. She gave me 24 hours to get down there and back. The Braves won 3-2, and our son Miles is doing awesome today.
That's a good story.
It's a really great story. I'm trying to think about how I would have.
I jokingly said when your baby
Whoa.
was born that you were at a Braves playoff game, and
Yeah,
some
you
people
did.
took it serious.
And I got some nasty comments
Yeah,
about it.
yeah.
So I'm just trying to think of how I would have approached asking my wife, like, our baby's in the hospital, but think about I'd dip out for a day.
Yeah.
Go watch the Braves game.
24 hours, honey.
That would have been, that would have been tough, man. That's a tough ask, dude.
You could say, I'm going to go home and take a shower and take a little nap and then head to Atlanta and then drive back that night.
Yeah. Tell you what, I'm going to head back, grab a few things, maybe take a shower.
Yeah. You need me to grab you anything?
I'll grab you lunch on the way back.
Yeah.
And then, traffic gets bad or something later that day. That's crazy, man.
Yeah.
I admire you, dude. I don't know how you figured out how to do that, but that's a lot. Congratulations
That's
on
a good story.
on your boy doing well.
It's a good story.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Is Miles a Braves baseball player? Could we link it?
Miles Hill? Yeah.
No.
I mean,
Miles Garrett.
No.
But he's a football player.
Yeah.
Yeah.
David Brooks. I want to make a video compilation of all the amazing jokes that Dusty casually makes that gets completely swept under the rug.
Please
It's
do that.
literally once an episode. He's got to be the best free agent signing in podcast history.
Yeah, thank you,
Wow.
David. David,
Yeah.
gosh, I would love for you to make that video.
Yeah, he's
I
not
mean,
gonna, but
That would be such a good video. I wish someone would make that video. I mean,
I think it'd be a lot shorter than you think.
I crush it on this podcast.
I think it'd be a 30-second video.
And then there's guys on Reddit going, yeah, he interrupts everybody. I can't watch it anymore because of him. He loves Jesus.
Yeah.
They hate it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
They hate it.
It's funny because every social media platform has a different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
Facebook fan page is like, I wish they talk about God more. And Reddit's like, that's all they talk about.
They love me on Reddit.
As if there are not a lot of podcasts where people are not talking about that sort of stuff. I mean,
Right.
it is practically all of them.
Yeah.
All right. Next comment comes from
Yeah.
Tanner Gutenson. This is one of the Gutenson quintuplets.
Oh,
Gutenson from Montgomery, Alabama. They're the first set of all male quintuplets born
how many is Quinn? 8?
5.
Okay.
5. Yeah, that would be octuplets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tanner Gutenson.
How is it Quinn though? Like, how's it not like, isn't it pentagram a 5-sided star?
Well, there's twins, triplets, and then what's the next one? Quadruplets,
Uh-huh.
quintuplets, then sextuplets, I think.
But why did we go Quinn
Yeah.
with it and not pent?
I don't know.
Pentagon?
Pentuplets. I don't know why we didn't do that. Why quint, not pent? Yeah, because it's from, Reddit is blocked on this, but quint comes from the Latin word quinque, meaning 5, rather than the Greek root for 5, which is penta.
Okay.
So it's Latin versus Greek.
Okay.
For some reason, for that stuff, we go Latin.
Yeah. I like it.
That's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Tanner Gutenson says, after being a long-time listener of the podcast, you guys really motivated me to try my hand at doing stand-up. Oh, God, I'm sorry about that, Tanner.
Life was going so well.
Yeah, dude. There was an open mic at a local bar/cafe here in Montgomery, Alabama, so I thought I'd give it a shot. I didn't do bad. I didn't murder, but most important, I didn't flop. Got 3 or 4 good laughs out of the 8 minutes I was given.
Jeez.
8 minutes.
Yeah.
Crazy, dude. That's so much time for an open mic.
Yeah.
Admire you for doing all 8. That's crazy. Thank you guys for being so informative on the podcast, and I look forward to many more episodes.
Well, congrats, Tanner.
Yeah, it's a big first step.
I've only done a couple of shows in Montgomery, and one of them was pretty good. Kind of a jazz bar downtown, Montgomery.
Downtown's really changed since I lived there.
Yeah.
The fact that you would do anything downtown tells me it's changed.
I did get a hotel downtown one time, and I sat out on the some chairs and smoked a cigar, and it was pretty scary. It was mainly a city scary to me when it's just like empty, like there's just no one outside, just an occasional people walking, and you're like, is this okay?
Yeah, am I supposed to be out here right now?
We were out there at midnight.
Probably pretty late. Yeah, Midnight in Montgomery, Ghost of Hank Williams.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know that. Is that a song?
Yeah, Alan Jackson.
Alan Jackson.
Oh, how about that?
It's a really good song.
Hank Williams from Montgomery, right?
Yeah.
Big time.
Tanner. So Tanner has, what'd you say, 4?
He's got 4 brothers.
That's good. That's good joke writing stuff.
I was about to say he's up there. He's like, God, I just don't have anything to talk about.
yeah. What makes me unique?
Yeah, I just don't know.
And if you're not feeling well, one of your siblings can just fill in for you.
Yeah, they're not identical though.
Oh, okay.
But I think they look. I mean, I think they're pretty close.
Yeah.
But I think it's only identical if it's 2. Or can there be 4 and is 2 sets of identicals?
I don't know how
Triplets
it
can
works.
be identical.
Triplets can't be identical.
They can't?
No, because the egg can only split in 2.
Well, that makes sense. I thought I'd seen triplets. So all 3 look
I don't think there's. I mean, I could be completely wrong about this, and I'm sure I'll be corrected. But I think the triplets cannot be identical. Hold on. Let me look this up. Okay. Yes, triplets can't be.
Okay.
Why did I? Okay, here it is.
Here we go. He's backtracking, but he's going to
identical triplets occur when a single fertilized egg splits into 3 separate embryos. That means all babies will share the same genetic makeup, blah, blah, blah. The probability of having identical triplets is extremely low, estimated at about 1 in 200 million pregnancies.
Yeah, I know a few.
So this is the least common identical triplets is, okay. So
Aaron, just admit you're wrong. Jeez.
look, I admit the way I said it was, I think I'd like to see it happen, but
I'd like to see it happen. Too.
I'd like to see it happen too. All right. For some reason, I thought that was all right.
All right.
You know, you live and you learn.
Mm-hmm.
You live and you learn. That's how it works.
That is true.
But I don't think that they're all.
This is an educational podcast.
I don't think that the Guten sons are identical, are they?
I don't think so.
Okay, because I think if.
How did you know that he's part of that? I mean, there's just not a lot of Guten sons out there. You think? Are you?
Were they a big deal in Montgomery when you were a kid?
No, I hadn't heard of them until they wrote into the podcast.
Okay,
a couple years ago.
Yeah, we talked about them,
and we talked about them, and then I think
they've been on,
Mason's one of their names. They were on the Tonight Show at one point.
Yeah, they've been on some talk shows
because it was a big deal when they were born. But I hadn't heard of them.
Mm-hmm.
Was this IVF or was this just natural that they just happened to be?
I don't know.
I have no idea. Yeah. Quintuplets occur naturally in 1 in 55 million births. How about that?
I mean, it's just wild. I mean, I can't imagine.
No.
I think about everything with the one baby.
Yeah.
Then if we had just had, if I had 4 more, dude, that'd be a lot.
Yeah.
That would have been a really big deal if I brought the car keys here by accident.
I know.
Left my wife with 5 babies.
With 5 babies, you might not even be allowed to do the podcast.
No, I think I have to quit comedy.
Yeah.
And, I don't know what I would do. I'd probably leave.
You'd have so much material, though.
Just leave.
Yeah.
Just drive away and never drive back.
Yeah.
Kidding.
I encourage my neighbor to do that. My neighbor.
You encourage your neighbor to leave his family?
I had a neighbor get.
Honestly, dude, you should.
He's
just
done that
bail.
before.
You should.
Well,
bail.
they were already getting divorced. This couple. They got divorced and they moved out. And he has 2 kids by 2 different women. They'd never been married, and now this is his 3rd kid with this woman. And it seems like none of the women let him see his kids, right? Not very much. Whether it's his fault or not, I don't know. I don't know any of that, but he just never really gets to see the kids. And he repairs air conditioners. I told him, I said, man, he was all sad about it. And I go, man, you should just get out of here and go to Florida and just live out your life. I said, because he's going to run himself ragged.
Where's the BetterHelp ad?
And they won't let him see his kids. And he was so sad. I was like, dude, there are so many air conditioners that need to be repaired in Florida.
Oh my
I was
gosh.
like, you could get out of here and just be happy.
Wow.
That's the worst advice.
Yeah.
It may be, but the guy was very sad.
How's he doing now?
He's gone.
He's just a sports. Oh God.
He moved on. He moved away. I don't know.
Because of your suggestion?
No, he were getting divorced and they had to move out of the house.
Okay.
So
I know you say if you don't have kids, go ahead and get divorced. But in this case,
well, his wife's leaving him.
Okay.
And they're going to make it hard for him to see his kid.
Yeah.
Really hard. And I just think,
well, he's making it easy on them.
I would just think, you just go ahead, take off, reconnect with the kid later in life and go, your mom wouldn't let me see you.
All right.
That may be terrible advice.
Yeah,
I
I
think that's
don't know.
terrible advice.
Do you? But what if your wife was leaving you
Mhm.
and she would not? She made it very hard for you to see the kid and was making your life really miserable. Is it helpful for you to be trying to just keep trying? Because you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. Men or women, this is not a comment on women. Men or women, you don't know what's happening behind the scenes. And how are they talking about you when you're not around? They're painting a picture of you anyway. I just think.
I don't know.
If it's a cool
If you just
divorce,
take off, it's going to verify what the wife said.
but if it's a cool divorce where you're just like, hey, we're not getting along,
Yeah.
but we still want to, I know a guy, him and his ex-wife live in the same house. They have like a duplex sort of situation. They're divorced, but the kids are still right there in one house.
Wow, that's interesting. I've never heard of that.
That is
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I want to be there for my kid, but every situation's different.
But
I'm not trying to judge anybody.
But listen to all the details, though. He's already got
Yeah,
two.
no, I get it.
And the women are not letting him see the kids for whatever reason, and maybe
Yeah.
they're right for it. But
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm not saying, I'm just making a comment.
You
here.
just wanted him out of the house because
He's moving no matter what.
Okay.
But I just saw the guy. The guy was crying every day, and I just was like, you got to take care of yourself here.
All right.
Matthew Pittman says, I got my tickets for Dusty this Friday and Saturday. And Brian Saturday night.
I'm not encouraging people to leave their kids.
I know
because
you're not.
I
know you're
all
not.
about.
Except in this case.
I'm all about the family.
Dusty's all about family.
I'm all about the family unit.
Of course.
But once the family unit's broken, the way things work, it's very hard.
Mhm.
And if the two parties are not working together, then it's going to be disastrous.
Well, you can hear more about this Dusty show this Friday night and the
Yeah.
rebuttal Saturday night
Me and
from
Brian
Brian.
are both going to be in Boston at the same time.
Oh, how about that?
Very excited.
Couple
yeah.
Southern boys.
Well, you got two shows. You got two nights, right?
Yeah, I'm there Friday, Saturday.
Yeah.
I got one show Friday. So, Aaron, let me ask you this. Dusty show's at 7.
Mhm.
My show's at 8.
Yeah.
Which one do you think will be over first? I think it'll be pretty
well,
close.
I got to work on new material, so I'll have to start
Yeah.
working in new jokes to the old jokes.
Uh-huh.
So
There you
it's
go.
bound to expand.
Yeah, I think right around the same time.
Yeah, that's what I think too. That's what I think
Yeah, it's
too.
bound to expand.
There's a lunar eclipse that night, so
Is it?
we could hang out and see a lunar eclipse.
We should do cigars.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't commit to any of this stuff. I think you're going to end up picking up Brian from the airport.
No, I got a rental car.
Oh, did you?
Can you pick me up?
Yeah.
Maybe.
See how this feels, Brian? Because I don't know, man. I got a lot planned that day.
Yeah.
Boston's a fun city. I'm there in a couple weeks.
All right.
So a lot of Nateland taking over Beantown.
Let me ask you this, Aaron.
Yes.
A lunar eclipse, that's when the Earth is between the moon and the sun.
I can't remember which one's which. Yeah.
I guess what I don't understand is, and I said this on the eclipse episode, I don't understand. That happens every month. I feel like every day but one, there's at least a partial eclipse.
Yeah. Well, it mean that it's right on us though. Like it's not going to be a lunar eclipse here. Is it going to be one in Boston?
I think the whole U.S. experienced a lunar
I
eclipse.
I don't know. I tapped out after that. We saw the eclipse.
Okay.
I wiped all eclipse information from my brain.
Okay.
After Nate asked if it's the sun coming between the moon and the earth. And I was like, I hope to God that doesn't happen.
And if it does, hopefully the moon's really far away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
We miscalculated the moon.
Either way, things are about to get different real quick. If the sun comes between the earth and the moon.
There's a partial solar eclipse later this month.
Coming through Nashville?
No.
It seems like they happen all the time.
I know.
They do happen a ton. Yeah.
It's, I think only like maybe New England can see
oh, okay.
some of it, but if you're out in the ocean, I think you could see it all.
Full totality?
Yeah, I think
That's
so.
pretty fun.
And I read today cicadas are coming back.
Oh, man.
That's why it's always like they're always like, oh, once in a lifetime thing, and then next year it's
Yeah.
happening. And
It's a
they're
different
like-
brood.
They're like, oh, these things are going extinct, and the next thing you know, they're like, there's too many of them.
Well, I don't know if anybody's claimed cicadas are extinct.
No, but they do say that. They said it about bees, and then they were like, and
Well,
then-
isn't bees? Isn't that a real problem?
But I think bees are. I mean, I think it is
Yeah.
probably because of like a lot of like Wi-Fi and stuff is what they say, and 5G is messing with the bees.
And pesticides.
Yeah.
Things like that.
All that. Yeah, but it's like even all that.
5G.
Well, it's like it's a signal, right? So it's out here,
Okay.
right? Whether it's bad or not, we
Okay.
don't know, but it's out here. It's a signal. It's obviously shooting something into your computer somehow that you can magically pull up information.
Right.
So it's out there. Maybe the bees are sensitive to it, you know,
Okay. And they're
messing
getting,
up their
they're getting
migration.
thrown off
Yeah.
where to go and stuff.
Yeah.
And
All
dying.
bad things don't have to be intentional. That's what everybody thinks. If you go, oh, 5G is affecting, everybody goes, oh, you think everybody's trying to kill you with 5G? And I'm like, I just think there could be unintended consequences.
Some studies suggest that 5G technology could harm bees. The scientific consensus is that more research is needed. That sounds
Yeah,
a bit of a
right.
cop out.
Right. It sounds like
Why don't we keep looking at it?
they're going. Yeah. Exactly.
Higher frequencies used in 5G can heat the insects' bodies, affecting their
Microwave.
health and behavior. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I was a
How about
little bit of
that?
a sicko. I put insects in the microwave and killed them. And it doesn't take very long at all. So
that's all the studies that need to be
So
done.
I'm saying this
Yeah.
5G is a bit like microwaves. They do say like our cell phones has a little bit of microwave, a little bit of radiation.
Well, this is saying other factors such as habitat loss, pesticides, disease, and climate change have a greater impact.
I
on
would
these
take climate
populations.
change off the list, and then all the others are what's really affecting it.
Okay. Well, can't they all play a little bit of a role?
I don't know.
Okay.
But
I think we're
habitat
Yeah.
loss, and I think if we, we're just building too fast. We're just bulldozing woods down all the time.
How about
and we're
this
just
study from Harvard right
building too many things.
here? I got a hand to you, Dusty. I didn't know this was being talked about so much.
Yeah.
We got a study from Harvard.
That's probably where you learned about it.
Let's
That's
see.
right. Well,
What
you
is
you
this?
check in regularly on Harvard.
What was the
studies?
quote that I heard? This is a rare occasion when I'm on Dusty's side. That was a quote that I heard earlier. But the problem is people are afraid to have speculation now. They don't want to speculate.
Yeah, I don't think you should speculate. Right?
To be
Yeah.
to be skeptical.
skeptical, that's what I mean.
You don't want to speculate.
You're great at
based on-
speculating.
Yeah.
What's
yeah.
speculating mean?
Speculate means just make a guess based on nothing.
Oh, yeah. I think we should do that too.
That's your mantra.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do both. Be
No, you
skeptical
ma-
and speculate.
No, make an educated guess, research it, figure out and have the guess based on
I've
something.
always said
Don't
guess
just throw
first.
out wild accusations.
Guess first, research second.
Research to back up your guess.
Yeah.
yeah.
Guess, see who it lands with.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's your people.
Yeah.
Throw out a guess, test the waters a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
We all need a good support system. Am I right?
Yeah.
You do need a good support system.
You guys are my support system, and I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Who's yours?
My family, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Your wife. But when they fail us, it's good to have a therapist. In a
Okay.
society that glorifies hyper independence, it's easy to forget that we're all better when we have a support system behind us. Therapy, excuse me.
Support system on that cough.
Therapy can be a source of support for any area of your life. It's time to shift the focus from doing it all to knowing that we're better when we ask for help. It's helpful to learn positive coping skills and how to set boundaries. It empowers you to be the best version of yourself. We all want to be the best version of ourselves, right?
You got to be.
I don't even know what that is.
I don't think we do either.
You got to find out with better help.
It isn't just for those who've experienced major trauma. Therapy is for everyone. Life can be hard, and it's great knowing you're not alone and you can have an amazing support system. Nate does therapy, but as I always say, don't hold that against BetterHelp. It works for most people. It's fully online, making therapy affordable and convenient, serving over 5 million people worldwide across a diverse network of more than 30,000 credentialed therapists in a wide range of specialties. Build your support system with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/Nate to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp. HELP.com/Nate. What coffee shops do you enjoy guessing the best at?
Oh, okay. Here we go. This is me. You know what? This is what happened to me. I went to a coffee shop the other day and they said, thanks for the shout out on the podcast. And I had no idea, but apparently I had shouted them out, but they are good. I go there a lot. So I said to Hannah, let's do top 5 coffee shops in Nashville. And then,
Why don't you do this on your podcast?
well, I've not been doing my podcast.
Yeah.
So now we have to sit
So I'm
through
putting
it.
more energy into this one.
Okay.
So I thought
Yeah.
we could,
You sure you don't want to save this to get Nate's thoughts when he's back next week?
well, when Nate's not here, that's when I bring in different things.
Yeah, I know,
Because
I know.
Nate, he's got a lot to talk about.
Yeah.
So I thought we get some feedback from people. There's a lot of people that live in Nashville.
Yeah.
Let's see, what are some of their favorites?
And even if you're not in Nashville, you can, maybe
comment on
about-
YouTube and tell us what your favorite coffee shops are.
Mhm.
And also, if you're not in Nashville, you're in other cities, tell us where the good coffee shops are. We're on our way there anyway.
Yeah, this is surprising because you don't, and I hope this doesn't come out wrong or mean. You don't seem like a coffee shop guy.
Mm-mm.
I love a coffee
You seem
shop.
like you get coffee from a gas station.
Mhm.
You drink it black out of a styrofoam cup, and it's a means to an end.
Well,
Yep.
that's the thing about me.
You're a man of
I
complexity.
do like black coffee.
Yeah.
But I don't drink out of styrofoam or paper anymore. Sometimes you have to. But I like to get my own mug.
Oh,
I'm
you
not
bring
trying-
in your own mug to a coffee shop?
Well, a lot of times they don't like you to do that. So so what I'll do, they pour it in the paper and then I pour it into my mug.
Okay.
These are
Right.
Dusty's top 5 coffee shops that lets him bring in his own mug.
Yeah. But but it has changed for me. What I used to like when I lived in Charleston, I'd go to Kudu coffee shop downtown.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of seating, and then you could, you drink coffee, eat an oatmeal cookie. They had a great oatmeal cookie that I like, oatmeal raisin cookie.
Oh, this was a bar too, huh?
Well, they started
Kudu
serving
coffee and craft beer.
but
So that's what got you in the door.
no, I was going there as a sober person.
Oh, okay.
And so I would walk down. I lived downtown. I'd walk down there, have some coffee. There was always attractive women in there, and it was just a good artsy spot to sit and write some jokes. I wrote
Play a little chess.
I wrote a lot of Making That Fudge, that album at Kudu.
Kudu Coffee.
Yeah.
Wow.
So, okay. So
Bit of a satanic logo there.
it is a goat because I had a problem with it too. But apparently it's a, but it's a goat, like a deer/goat.
Sure.
Antelope.
Well, I laughed earlier when you knew 5 was pit,
Yeah.
and then you gave me the example of pentagram. I was like, oh,
yeah.
that's how he knows this.
Or the
Yeah.
Pentagon. Either
Yeah.
way.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
2 things that he's not a
Weird
fan
that
of.
they have a similar name like that.
Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. So
It should have been the Quintagon.
as with all of these, I got a couple of extras. So I'm gonna go. This was Hannah's. She loves this place.
We have
I'm
to
not-
hear Hannah's top 5
I'm not a huge
coffee
fan.
shops.
This one is
Nate's back next week, folks.
This is Crema Coffee in Brentwood. Crema, I think it's a chain a bit,
Okay.
but apparently they have very good coffee. I'm not that into it. Okay,
But shout out.
here we go.
But it made Hannah's
Okay.
list.
Yeah, Kramer, there's one
should
one
take-
downtown.
You
I've
should
been
take
to.
Lucy her key now.
Guys,
Well,
This might be a good time. I'm sorry.
have some culture about yourself.
Okay, you're right. You're right.
Okay, all right.
Tell us about
Okay, so and then there is this is going to be number 5.
All right.
I'll have an honorable.
Here's the list.
I'll have an honorable mention.
Mhm.
Barista Parlor. I like the one in East Nashville. It's a good spot. It is pretty artsy, and they. I wrote a joke about it one time because they gave me my black coffee in like a beaker, and then
Yep.
they give you a cup, and then you go sit down, and then
that's
you
this
pour it in.
place.
They do.
Yeah.
But it's a nice spot, and they have very good coffee. That's what I'm looking for is good coffee.
Tom Hanks was spotted there once.
Was he?
Yep.
Barista Parlor. They have one of these at the airport, by the way.
hmm
Yeah, that's a good one. Okay, then I like that they have a lot of these, but I'm a big fan. The Frothy Monkey. I'm a big fan. I like the one
yeah.
on 12 South.
Oh yeah.
It's always busy.
Surprised you like the vibe in there, man.
Well, that's
Frothy Monkey is like the go-to example of kind of like a. I'm trying to figure out the best way to say this. Like,
Non-dusty.
yeah, kind of like the opposite of Dusty. That's
Yeah.
who would be.
but
in
that's
there.
the thing. That's who's making the best coffee.
Okay.
If it's all a bunch of dudes that I really like, it's not going to be good coffee.
You get coffee at AutoZone.
yeah. No, but
Yeah.
they have an artistic vibe. I like a real artistic vibe. Okay, number 2. This is in Donaldson, the Sunshine Bakehouse.
Okay.
It's a vegan place, which I'm not vegan, but when there's a vegan vegetarian place,
I told you about this place.
yeah, they're usually It's Sunflower Bakehouse. We always get it wrong.
Yeah.
Sunflower Bakehouse. A vegan, vegetarian place. They at least they do a good job with that stuff.
Yeah.
I want to eat meat, but I don't need to eat it every meal.
Fun story about the Sunflower Bakehouse. This is a vegan bakery, and I went there with Lucy, and they have all these cupcakes that just look unreal.
Yeah.
And I was like, and Lucy goes, they're everything free, gluten free, whatever free. So I was like, sugar. I thought they were sugar free. So I bought like 3 huge cupcakes, and I ate them over the course of 2 days. And I was like, I can't believe these are sugar free. And she's like, sugar might be the only thing still in there.
Yeah. They're keeping sugar alive.
Oh yeah. They're doing a lot of sugar.
But I like this spot. It's a fun spot.
They're good.
All right. Here we go. Number 2.
Oh, I thought that was 2. Okay.
This is number 2.
All right.
Headquarters on Charlotte Avenue. This is on the west side. Tiny little coffee shop. And very good coffee.
Okay.
Very good.
Downtown Nashville.
No. It's like on the west side, like on Charlotte Avenue.
Yeah, it's downtown.
Yeah.
Charlotte Pike.
Near where you used to live.
Yeah. Good, really good spot, though.
Okay.
What they're showing you is not what it's going to look like when you go in there. It's all these pictures make it look really nice. It's pretty tiny place.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Honorable mention.
McDonald's.
Red Bicycle in Germantown.
Okay, I've heard of Red Bicycle.
Very good.
Yeah.
Very good spot. All right, number 1. This is my favorite spot. But they're doing a little something there that really ups it. They make a sourdough bread.
Okay.
I go there on Wednesdays and get a loaf of sourdough bread.
Wow.
It's very good. And they have a lot of bakery things that are very good, and they have good coffee. And this is going to be Flower Your Dreams in Hermitage.
Flower Your Dreams
Yeah.
Bakery and Cafe.
Very good. We go
All
there.
right.
We go there at least once a week. We get bread. We get coffee.
Okay, I was about to ask, how do you have time with 2 kids to go to all these coffee shops? But you all go.
We'll all go, or we'll take turns.
You give your kids coffee yet?
No. But they do eat a lot of bread.
You'll see these kids, man, at the airport and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Like a 4 or 5-year-old with like one of those. I don't even know what you call them. I don't even know how to order one at Starbucks, but one of those, like, it's basically a milkshake with coffee in it. See these like 4 or 5-year-old kids with it. It's crazy, dude.
Yeah, my
I don't
kids
think I had coffee till college.
get all sorts of treats, but I try to keep it. I try to keep it back from them.
Yeah, no, just nicotine and stuff.
I kind of like yesterday I was eating ice cream in the kitchen while they were in the bath, and I was like, you would think, well, I should share with my kids, right?
No.
But I'm like, I don't want to destroy their stomachs like mine's destroyed. I'll just keep destroying mine, and I'll try to protect them some.
That's sweet.
You'll give them the gift of a cautionary tale.
Yeah.
That's a good thing for a parent to give a kid.
Yeah.
Well, that was that. I enjoyed that more than I thought I would.
That's a
Dusty.
good list.
That's
You
a
guys
good
got to
list.
let me run with things.
Okay. Yeah, we let you do it.
Yeah.
We let you do it. So, what's the next list? I'd
And
like to maybe make my own next time.
Yeah. Because for me now, like I was saying before, with the kudu, I used to go there
Mhm.
and I'm looking to write jokes. I'm looking for some inspiration. I like when people are in there. That way you can see them and I don't know, it's just something to look at, something to write about.
Right.
But nowadays I'm looking for, do you have some healthy bakery options?
Okay.
But who
Like-
listening to this podcast, excuse me, is going to find this interesting?
So many people.
Why would they find your top 5 coffee shops in Nashville interesting?
Well, maybe they live in Nashville
Okay.
and they're looking for a coffee shop. I mean, come on, guys. I mean, this whole podcast is just stuff like this.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And somehow,
But it's
coffee
usually-
shops, you guys are like, oh,
No, it's not. It's broad where everybody can share.
It's not like we postponed a conversation about Congress to talk about this. We're talking about nonsense.
Yeah, but coffee.
so I get that. I agree with both of you somehow.
But Nashville is a tourist destination.
So now they'll know.
And people coming here
Yeah.
are
Right.
going to want to go to the good coffee shops.
Right.
Mhm.
And then we also have a lot of Nashville listeners.
Mhm.
So this applies. Listen, there's more people going to Nashville coffee shops than there are, want to hear about, some of the things we talk about. But I like the podcast, so I don't criticize the things we talk about.
Right.
But I'm just saying, let's not act like this subject is. Coffee's important to people.
Yeah, I think so. Too.
Coffee's a drug.
Yeah, we should have. I wish I know. We could have done an episode on coffee.
We could have done a coffee episode.
We never done a coffee episode?
No.
I think we should get people to comment on YouTube. Tell us what your favorite coffee shops are and why you like them. And also, I'll do this.
Yeah.
Do you agree with Brian? Do you think
But
that,
Mike Meyer does.
Yeah. I mean, but and also, I just want you to take note because everybody says how mean everyone is to Brian. Look how mean Brian's being to me.
That is true.
I'm trying to be nice to the listeners.
But I'm just saying, everybody's always like, oh, everybody's so mean to Brian. But I'm just saying, everybody can be mean sometimes.
When I was I don't drink coffee.
Yeah.
I mean, I do with the Keurig.
Well, that's what this comes from. He doesn't drink coffee.
No, I do drink coffee. I'm sorry. I don't go to coffee shops because I have a family that I love. But I'm glad you guys have time. But when I was in Winter Haven recently,
that's what I was trying to get to, though. There's things that are more important to me now, like good bakery items, because that are healthy that I can take to my kids.
Okay.
Anyway, when you were in Winter,
when I was in Winter Haven, someone gave me some coffee.
Where's Winter Haven? New Jersey,
Florida.
Okay,
close.
I'm thinking. Okay, I don't know what I'm thinking. Anyway,
what are you thinking?
I was thinking New Haven, but that's Connecticut, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, someone gave me some coffee I think it was called Haven. It was the best coffee, they said, in Winter Haven.
Okay.
And I gave it I'm not a coffee connoisseur. My brother-in-law is. And he texted me yesterday. He was like, it was great. And he said it has fruity pebbles in it. It has a fruity pebble taste.
Oh, he doesn't have actual chunks of Fruity Pebbles in the coffee.
Nah,
that'd be bizarre.
That would be bizarre.
Yeah.
All soggy in your filter up there.
No, I think Fruity Pebbles is when it gets a little soggy. That's when it's the best.
Oh, I never.
You want it a little soggy.
I liked it. I like it crunchy.
I like it about.
I don't eat it anymore.
About 75% of the way through the bowl. That's when it's the best. When it's a little bit of that milk worked its way in.
When I used to eat Fruity Pebbles, you have the bowl, right? And you eat it from the side almost, and you work your way in. So as you get in, you do have a crunchy and a little bit of a soggy bite.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
You gotta get the right consistency.
That is good.
It's pretty special.
We went to that coffee place in Huntsville. I forget the name of that place, but
it's like German coffee.
Yeah, it's kind of a complicated name. But they sell a lot of coffee. They only have one thing brewed, but they sell a lot of coffee, and it's really good.
Yeah,
I forget what it's called, but if you're to look coffee in Huntsville, just look for the hardest. I was just telling people, look for the hardest one to spell, and then you'll be like, okay, this is it.
Bus stop, and harder than that.
No, it's like
Beignets and Brew.
No,
I thought it was a German name. Was it not?
The Cozy Cow, White.
Why is it not coming up? I mean,
Das Stahl Coffee House. It looks German, man.
I don't even think that.
It looks German. All right, let's do. Hold on, I'm gonna do top 5 in Huntsville real quick.
Tell me Hannah's top 5 in Huntsville.
But also, you want to get an
honorable mention.
You want to try to get organic coffee. Organic's important. And then you want to try to get a mold free. Apparently, there's a lot of mold on coffee. And then Keurigs, this is the problem with Keurig that I found.
I met the guy who invented Keurig.
He's very wealthy, huh?
He's doing all right.
Yeah.
But I think he regrets doing it.
I bet he does. He's ruined coffee. But
well, I think it's a pollution thing.
This is the problem with, if you get I've probably talked about this before. The Farmer's Almanac will tell you what plastics are safe for human consumption, like safe to be used for food and what you're not. If you get you get Starbucks K-Cups, and they say they're safe for human consumption or whatever, right? But they're not organic. You can't find any organic ones.
Yeah.
But if you buy the organic ones at the grocery store, which was what we were doing, I looked up that plastic. That plastic, not safe for food, for humans. So you have this you have this plastic cup that you're dropping down in. Hot water is pouring into this plastic, and then it's just spilling into your coffee, and then you're just drinking it.
Mm-hmm.
Dang.
I'm out on Keurig.
Did you do a Keurig, Aaron?
Yeah, I use it all the time.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
We just got rid of ours at our house.
Yeah.
We're out on it now.
I don't know how to use a regular coffee maker.
I don't either.
So the Keurig is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
Too. And it works. And it works every time.
We have a little grinder. We put our beans in there. We grind the coffee.
Nice.
Each morning, fresh ground.
Yeah.
Put it in the
It
thing.
definitely tastes better.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
Yeah, but I'm not, it's a means to an end to me.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just trying to down it.
Oh, see, I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, I'm not trying to enjoy things. I'm trying to be miserable.
Mm-hmm.
What if I told you the most important part of your spring cleaning routine is your sock drawer?
I wouldn't believe you.
Yep, you heard it right. It's time to ditch any mismatched, tired pairs and refresh your collection with some fresh Bombas. And for all your other spring cleaning chores, Bombas has the cushioned, arch-hugging pairs that'll keep you comfy while you spruce up the house and walk the dog and do whatever else you do on a normal day. You know what goes great with new spring socks?
What?
Fresh white T-shirts,
That's true.
waterproof slides, and a few pairs of amazingly soft underwear. Bombas makes all that too. Best part of all this? For every comfy pair you purchase, Bombas donates another comfy pair to someone facing homelessness. I recently switched over to Bombas. I love them.
Let's see them.
I'm not wearing them today.
Oh, okay.
They just fit my feet right. I feel like my feet can breathe too. Plus, giving back every time I buy a pair, that helps. Bombas is going international. Enjoy worldwide shipping on over 200 countries. Head over to bombas.com/Nate and use code Nate for 20% off your purchase. That's BOMBAS.com/Nate. Code Nate for 20% off your first purchase. Bombas.com/Nate and use code Nate.
All right. This week. This week has some important stuff to get to.
Yeah.
Talk about folk tales.
There we go.
Right. Here's what people are looking
This
for.
is what they're waiting for, dude.
Well, we did an episode recently on fairy tales.
And people enjoyed it.
People really
We had
enjoyed
a
it. So
good
I
time.
texted you guys. I was like, hey, what do you guys think we talk about folk tales?
And we didn't
And
respond.
you guys, let me check. Dead silence. As usual. So thanks, guys. So Dusty was too busy making his honorable mention for his kids at a coffee shop. So this week we're talking about folk tales.
I love it. Let's
I do
get
too.
into
I
it.
love it too.
Now,
Now-
you're going to talk about the difference between a folk tale and a fairy tale?
Yeah, I mentioned that a little bit on the fairy tale episode, but fairy tales usually, it's more good versus evil narrative. There's usually some magic involved, some mythical creatures. Folk tales are more based on something a little real that just gets embellished or
Like Amelia Earhart,
Over
something like
time.
that.
well, I was thinking of trying to think of some modern day folk tales.
Okay.
Folk heroes and
So like
The last
real
time you-
historical things that have been mythologized in some way?
like some of them, like
Okay.
Paul Bunyan, there's nothing he didn't step and make the Grand Canyon.
There was never a giant guy who
No.
made the Finger Lakes with
I
his hand.
bet
But-
some of that stuff got exaggerated, but I bet there was a Paul Bunyan character.
Well,
I bet
there
he was a big
was.
dude.
There
Yeah.
was. There was a guy, a lumberjack named Fabian Fournier,
Paul Bunyan was his name.
French Canadian timberman. And it's said that this is in the
Fabian Fournier. Fabian Joe. His nickname was Joe.
it's like Nate's joke on bar.
Yeah, exactly.
But it said in
What's
that
your name,
time,
Fabian? I'm gonna call you Joe.
let's see, years active.
So he emigrated to the United States, worked as a lumberjack in Michigan. He's the man who inspired Paul Bunyan in at least some part. He was an infamous brawler, getting fights left and right.
Now this says this is in the 1800s. It says he was 6 feet tall, which at the time the average man barely cleared 5 feet.
Okay,
that
so
made him very
this is the equivalent of like 7 foot.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's pretty crazy though that
Yeah.
we've grown a foot in the last.
I don't believe that. People always say it. And it's just something in me that I just don't believe that we were all just shorter people.
But what do you think with all the steroids they're putting in our foods that would make us You get on board with that, right?
Yeah, I mean to some degree, but I just don't know why we would be getting taller.
I don't know. Maybe because diarrhea doesn't wipe out like a whole town now.
Yeah, but
then like health has gotten better and nutrition's way better and all that kind of stuff.
Well, I don't know if nutrition's better, but I just
like
don't.
one ibuprofen pill would have like started a war 200 years ago, and now I have 5,000 in my pantry. Like I don't know. The world's gotten better.
I just don't know how it's making us get taller, though. Is what I'm saying. I mean, I agree that we don't have dysentery out here, or whatever, but
yeah.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I just I'm just asking.
Mhm.
No, I have no idea.
So there's,
Andrew
But don't we have
Jackson-
the skeletons of people from back then, and we can see how tall?
But do we
they-
have them all?
No, but I
And
don't.
do we trust the researchers?
What possible motive could someone have to lie about the average height?
I don't know. I mean, there
Yeah.
could be plenty of motives. The motive could be to convince you that we're a healthier society now.
Interesting.
Mm.
Interesting. Okay.
well, anyway,
Because they say that we evolved past using our wisdom teeth. That's what we say. Is that why? And that's why a lot of people say that, and that's why we need to have them removed now. But other people say it's because our diets have changed so much that we used to, eat meat, and we would all the time we would just tear meat with our mouth and jaws, and we were taking in so much, of that kind of stuff that we actually were developing more of our jaws. So a lot of people suggest that it's just our jaws aren't fully developing like they used to, and that's why we don't have room for our teeth. I don't know if it's true, but I'm saying people suggest that.
Mhm.
Well, what about this? Does it have something about this guy's teeth in here?
No.
Okay. Yeah.
Why,
It says he has supposed double row of teeth.
Yes, he was rumored to have 2 complete sets of teeth, which he used to bite off hunks of wooden rails in his spare time while drinking and brawling. So that would help build your legend.
See,
for sure.
that's pretty interesting because when they talk about folk giants,
Yeah.
they're like finding these. They say in America they had found all these like 8-foot red-headed giants, and they all had 2 rows of teeth.
Yeah, his remains were allegedly hosted at the University of Michigan at some point, which he became an oddity in dental sciences. So, known for his unusual jawbone.
Wow.
How about that?
Huh.
How about I never heard of this guy? So this is a good example. This is a folk tale like this.
Yeah, I mean, some advertising companies kind of ran with it, and
Paul Bunyan was also a redhead, I think.
are you still? Oh, is this the Native?
I'm just saying.
Is this the Native American thing you're talking about?
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of Native American folk tales, they talk of these redheaded giants.
Mm-hmm. But anyway, that's one that
Is Paul Bunyan a redhead?
Not any of these depictions of him.
Keith Alberstadt had a Paul Bunyan joke.
yeah,
Did
he
he?
did.
Yeah.
He did. Yep. There's like, yeah, he's from here. The mythical ox, and Johnny Appleseed. That's a real guy.
Yeah.
John Chapman. He was a horticulturist, and he
Are these potential Paul Bunyan people?
No,
I've moved on now.
Johnny
Oh, okay.
Appleseed's its own thing.
Okay.
There were a couple of Paul
So
Bunyan.
Johnny Appleseed was real, but what's the folk tale around him that he discovered
That
apple
he's
trees?
responsible for all the apple trees in America because he
Yeah.
walked around and just threw seeds out all over the place.
Right. That's what a lot of people think.
Yeah.
It's much harder to grow an apple tree than that.
You can't just throw a seed out and it's fine.
I've never had that kind of luck with
This
it.
was actually more true than I would have guessed. I mean, he did help with growing apple trees all over the Ohio Valley. I like that hat.
It's got a tough look to
Look
him.
at his chest, though. He looks ripped.
But his success was centered not around fresh apples, but rather the cider they could create.
Oh, okay.
Cider was essential, the American dinner table at that time. So most homes had their own small orchard. He planted orchards along with pioneers, and he stayed ahead of the other horticulturists because he was unmarried, had an unmarried lifestyle that allow him to cover more ground.
And this is what I've been proposing. I think we should all, I want to get my HOA involved, and I want to plant fruit trees in everybody's yard. I want everybody in the neighborhood to have a fruit tree. We should all have fruit trees in all our yards.
Yeah.
I say this a lot, and I mean this with love. You're such the Kramer character because that was something Kramer would do on
Yeah.
Seinfeld.
Well,
But Kramer was always ahead of
genius.
he was always ahead of everybody.
well, I mean, it's like we should every household should have a fruit tree in their yard. I mean, why not?
What kind of fruit? Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I mean, certain types you're going to need a couple to pollinate,
Okay.
but an apple tree, pear trees.
My mom has a pear tree.
Yeah, we should all have fruit trees in our yard.
Yep. Well, anyway, the Johnny Appleseed Museum is in Urbana, Ohio. If you guys wanted to go see it.
All right. I'll go check it out.
I'm just saying, you're talking about these people. You're just spurring ideas here. You're getting me.
Yeah.
I mean, Johnny Appleseed. I didn't know he was doing all that, but
He was onto something, wasn't he?
yeah.
What about this? John Henry.
John Henry. You know, I used to have a book. John Henry, Paul Bunyan playing baseball.
That you do believe.
Yeah.
That's 100% factual.
Well, John Henry, I love the story of John Henry. I mean, he was a railroad guy, and the steam engine was coming in, and the steam engine was taking everybody's jobs on the railroad. And John Henry was like, I can beat the steam engine.
Yeah.
It was a steam drill.
Yeah, and he beat it.
But then he died, right?
He died. Yeah.
Died in the process.
So who wins it?
Well, obviously technology wins in the end.
Yeah.
But he was saying.
So
I
is
can
it a
beat
sad story?
I think so.
What's the moral of the John Henry story, that we will lose to technology in the end?
Yeah, I mean, AI will kill us.
I mean, is this supposed to be some kind of
I think it
story
was a
about the
victory
human
lap.
spirit?
Yeah, I think it was like.
But if he dies at the end and he barely beats the machine.
Yeah, but he'd rather die. I don't know if he barely beat it, but he
didn't dominate it, did he?
he'd rather die than lose out to the machine.
Did he know I might die doing this when he started it? Or did he just...
I don't think he cared.
But
that seems dumb, dude. He should have just
What's
find another job.
What's he going to do, though? I mean, maybe jobs weren't readily available at that time.
Well, I think he figured it out. I don't think the only two options are die or
yeah,
die. I think you could have just kept living and went somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
I think you got pride in your work. What if?
Yeah, pride to an extent.
What if AI? They were suddenly AI, Terminator robots that were doing stand up comedy now, and it was like, who can do stand up comedy the longest?
Yeah,
and you were like, no, I can beat this guy.
No, I wouldn't go die on stage and leave my family behind.
They were like, either you die on stage or you're working. What's that?
I've died on stage a bunch.
Yeah.
Well, AI, I mean, Deep Blue, that was kind of an early, when it played chess against, was it Gary Kasparov?
Yeah.
And that was kind of like John Henry. Gary, he eventually lost, right?
Yeah, he did.
But, oh well, never mind. But he lived, so.
Yeah, he did.
So that's the upside.
He did live.
Yeah.
It'd be tough to die from playing chess.
Yeah.
I played chess on a plane. I know how to play chess.
Mm-hmm.
I never prided myself being very good, but I know how all the parts move.
Yeah.
And I tried to play chess against the computer on a plane the other day. Jeez.
What difficulty level?
It's the easiest possible.
Were you getting
murdered every time? Not even now. I'm more of a speed chess guy. I just want to play.
Blitz.
Yeah. I don't want to sit around all day and think about it. I just want to play.
Okay.
But I was getting hammered.
Yeah. It's a tough game, man.
Yeah.
Getting hammered like John Henry hammered that.
Exactly.
There you go. Brought it back.
Yep. Casey Jones.
There's a good song. Justin Townes Earl has a good song about John Henry. And also Jillian Welch has a good John Henry song.
Okay.
If you're into those.
Yeah, I'll check
Jesse
that
Slay's top 5 John Henry songs.
Yeah.
Honorable mention.
Yeah.
Casey Jones. You guys heard of Casey Jones?
Yeah.
From a Grateful Dead song?
Is there? There was a
From
Beastie
Ninja
Boys.
Turtles.
Beastie Boys line about, was it Casey Jones' locker?
Oh. Why did I think Casey Jones is
You may be right. I don't know the Grateful Dead.
The Ninja Turtles had a Casey Jones character.
Yeah, Casey Jones. Grateful Dead.
Oh, yeah. Riding that train. Ba-da-dun-dun. Casey Jones, you better watch your speed.
So he was from Tennessee.
Trouble
Okay.
ahead.
Is he bank robber or something?
No, he was a train engineer, locomotive engineer.
Okay.
And
People just looked more intense back then, didn't they?
yeah,
Look at this guy.
they didn't know they were about to take a picture, probably.
Yeah, well, this is when you had to stand. You probably had to pose for the picture for like 15 minutes for it to develop.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's tough to maintain a smile that long.
Mhm.
So you come out looking like this, and this is how the world remembers him. Just like a intense stare.
Well, anyway,
Yeah.
his thing was his train was about to collide with another train,
Okay.
and he stayed on board, supposedly to try to slow the train and save his passengers. And he was the only person to die. According to the legend, he had died with one hand on the train's whistle and the other hand on its brake.
Wow.
So he became this legend of.
Well, did he do anything to actually save them, or?
He saved the rest of the passengers, apparently.
But how did
Yeah.
he say? How did?
He slowed it down enough to where when it collided, it just killed him.
Mhm.
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hero.
Yeah.
And when you clicked on Casey Jones on Google, it showed you the Casey Jones Ninja Turtles character.
Ah. What was his character in Ninja Turtles?
He wore the hockey mask, and he had the hockey club. and
Okay. It's so funny because you and Nate are similar ages, and he was really into Ninja Turtles.
he would know Casey Jones.
In the it's I was at least in high school, if not college, when they were big.
Oh, that's interesting that the Grateful Dead, they said riding that train in the song.
Riding that train.
But then they go on to allude to him
Yeah.
doing substances.
All right.
Casey Jones, you better watch your speed. So
That's
maybe
right.
that's it. He was
Yeah.
flying on that train.
Who designed and sewed the first American flag?
Betsy
The
Ross.
story is Betsy Ross. I've been to the Betsy Ross house, but I think
Ooh.
probably it wasn't her.
Probably not.
Okay.
Probably not. But that is the story. Her grandson shared that like 100 years later. But supposedly George Washington went to her, said, we want to design this new flag with the stars being 6. And she's 6 points. And she was like, a pentagon would be 5 would be easier to sew. So that's why the
Yeah.
star has 5 instead of 6.
Why did they want 6? Was there significance to that?
I don't know. Maybe that's just how they drew stars back then. And she was like, a 5-pointed one would be easier for us to do. But most historians say most likely she was not the one who first did it.
Wow.
But they wanted to give a woman something. So it was probably done by a man much better, is what historians say. I'm joking. I'm just,
Yeah.
but maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. Who knows?
I'll do a couple more.
Okay.
Why even do why even call that a star? I always thought that's interesting. Like stars don't look anything like that. If you
You mean
Yeah.
actual stars in the
Yeah.
sky? They
'Cause
twinkle.
They're just like dots that kind of twinkle a little
Yeah.
bit.
so why do we call these stars? We could just call them something else.
That I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Star shape come from? We'll find out. The 5-pointed star. Oh geez. Oh boy. Okay. Yeah. There's a history you're probably not going to be happy with, Dusty.
No, I know about it.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, he's setting us up.
He goes, find that out on your own time.
Pentagram,
fellas.
Pentagon, Betsy
Yeah.
Ross flag. Pocahontas. The legend with her was that she saved John Smith's life.
Okay.
He was an early colonist. He got captured by Native Americans. Her dad was the chief,
Okay.
and they were about to smash his head with a rock, and she laid on top of him to save him. That story's almost certainly, they say, not true.
Yeah.
This guy,
How would they know if it was true or untrue?
well, John Smith, who wrote this, that said this happened, also wrote numerous other stories, they say, about beautiful women coming to his rescue.
Okay.
And he was a known liar and braggart, they say.
Okay. Yeah. It's tough. It's tough
Yeah.
to make the case then.
Yeah.
But Disney.
But maybe they're lying.
Was that also the plot of the Disney?
Or maybe John
Pocahontas?
Smith was really getting around, doing well for himself,
Yep.
but also getting in a lot of trouble.
No,
And
she
he was
did.
saved by a lot of beautiful women. I mean,
Maybe so. She did.
maybe it was a real hater who's like, John Smith's a real liar.
She married a John later, John Rolfe, and
Oh.
it was a big deal that an American, or I guess it wouldn't be American then, but a white settler was marrying a Native
Mhm.
American woman. So
Mhm.
anyway, but she certainly was real.
Okay.
Is there a real? I guess so. I guess there's a cartoon. I was going to
Yeah.
say, is there really a folk story around? Like John Henry, Paul Bunyan. These are stories I was hearing all about all the time.
Folk tales, yeah.
I guess you were hearing about but
Yeah,
Pocahontas
man,
was Disney.
I know the Pocahontas songs, dude.
Do you?
Paint with all the colors of the wind, dude.
Okay.
That's from the movie?
I think so.
I know.
Isn't that a big one?
You have that on DVD?
Paint with all the colors of the wind. Right?
Again,
I act
before
like
my
I'm
time.
crazy. It's one of the biggest.
I don't know that song.
It's a pretty big production.
No, I'm sure it is. I've only listened to a few Disney songs now that I have kids, and that's not made it to the mix yet.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Not ringing any bells, but
Okay.
Nope.
Let me fast forward for a second.
Can you sing with all the
okay.
Oh, yes.
Now I don't know
Yeah.
it, but I like that.
Now I know it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
Robin Hood.
Robin Hood.
One of my favorites. I mean, when I was a kid, that's Kevin Costner Robin Hood.
Not Robin Hood Men in Tights.
That's the
No,
one I
well,
think
Men
of.
in Tights was around too,
Yeah,
but you had Morgan Freeman, Kevin Costner, Christian Slater, Alan Rickman,
Yeah.
Snape.
and then the Maid Marian. She was in a few things. I don't remember her name outright, but very good. I think his butler was a pretty famous actor too.
Yeah, yeah.
Gosh, that was such a good movie.
Robin Hood had a butler?
Before, he was like Robin of Locksley.
Before he
And so the butler, his dad's butler, was blind. He was the blind man.
So is it based on something real?
Probably not. It was probably more just like a symbol of
Yeah.
rich people oppressing poor people.
Right.
And Robin Hood, robbers, but probably not a real person.
But Men in Tights, Dave Chappelle,
Dave Chappelle,
early Dave
yeah.
Chappelle.
Oh,
I forget that guy's name, but the guy, he's
Carrie Yules.
Yeah, he's so great. He's so great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I probably didn't say his name right, but something like that.
I just
right?
remember Dave Chappelle with the shoes that pumped up.
Oh
That
yeah.
made me laugh so hard as a kid. Just pumping up shoes.
I think Richard Lewis was in that.
Yeah,
Okay.
Richard Lewis. He had the mold that would move around his face as they were talking. Like it would come back to him and it'd be in a different place. Yeah.
spot.
And this Monday, St. Patrick's Day, you guys dress appropriately for it.
Yes,
Dusty
sir.
always gets into St. Patrick's
Oh,
Day
yeah.
with your green
Yeah.
hat.
It's a custom made hat here. Did you guys notice that?
I noticed it.
I did see that. Yeah. It looks like the Kodak
Yeah.
tobacco.
Yeah, we had it made for the special. I wore this hat on the special.
Wow.
So we had it fashioned after my Kodiak wintergreen hat.
Kodiak, not
Yeah.
Kodak. Sorry. Yeah, yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
So St. Patrick supposedly drove all the snakes out of Ireland.
Yeah.
You know that story?
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah. They say there weren't snakes in Ireland because it's a island where snakes couldn't have gotten to, but he was a Christian missionary and it was more symbolism of driving out pagan beliefs. Like,
Mhm.
Ah,
like snakes
I love that.
represent,
Yeah.
evil. So
That's right. Get them out of there.
Yeah.
driving out that. So
We send them all to Australia.
yeah. So I mentioned earlier who are, I was trying to think of some modern folk heroes in the last 100 years. I got a couple
Oh, man. Yeah.
that are kind of one still alive.
We'll see how long that lasts once you mention them, Brian.
Oh, that's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point because the folks
Yeah.
like to create folk tales about us.
Okay.
And now anytime I mention anybody, they're like, oh, that person's dead.
Yeah, because it works out that way most of the time.
No,
Okay.
no. Rachel Robinson broke that streak.
All right.
For
We'll
me?
see. We'll see.
I mean-
you just brought her up again. You
I
restarted the
mentioned
clock.
people
brother.
who are 100 years old and then they're like, oh, wow, that's crazy. They died. There's a lot of folk tales about us.
Uh-huh.
You have this image people say of you being rich because,
Uh-huh.
Nate kind of started
Yeah.
that. Now everybody thinks you're super rich.
That's right. Yeah, grew up in a mansion.
Yeah.
All that kind of stuff.
Dusty, it's a conspiracy theorist. And never once has Dusty thrown out a conspiracy theory.
Not any untrue ones. They're not even really theories.
Exactly.
Really.
They're certainly not conspiracies.
Just because conspiracy, is, yeah. I mean,
It's got a bad connotation.
yeah, it was a term created to make anybody that questioned the mainstream seem
Mhm.
crazy.
That's great. To have a conspiracy theory about the word conspiracy theory is pretty great.
I know, but it's like it's so
Cancels
easy.
each other out.
It's so easy for people. I can hear their voice now. They go, you're into,
here he
oh,
goes.
buddy, you're into
Oh,
conspiracies, huh, buddy?
All
Oh,
right.
okay, buddy. Well, listen, okay. Sometimes things in life are just what they seem.
That's a good point. voice.
Okay, buddy.
I've never heard you
Not
do a
everybody
voice.
is into conspiracies. Okay, just trust the news. Okay, can you just chill out here, buddy, and
Yeah.
just trust the news for a minute?
I've never heard you do a voice. That was awesome.
Character actor over here.
Sometimes things just are what they are.
If you want
brother.
to, his new hour is going to be wild.
I love it.
He's doing impressions.
I love it.
Yeah, we have a lot. I think I have more than anybody. Like I told a story once about how these girls said I look worried on my senior
yeah,
note,
yeah.
and now anything that happened, anytime I post anything, like this guy's worried.
I know. You can't take a picture without people saying you.
I
look
know.
worried.
Yeah, it
You're
would be a
more myth than man at this point. Bro.
Exactly.
Like
Exactly.
the picture with Nate and Leanne talking to each other, and you're in the background.
Yeah.
They're
I appreciate
like,
you
Yeah,
kicking
they're
up
like,
for me.
oh, you look so worried. I'm like, it looks well composed back there. It looks like he's having a great time.
And I know they're trying to be funny, but read the comments when 8 other people have made the same dumb joke.
I
You
know.
know, come up with something original.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you.
Go after these guys.
Well, do Aaron. Now, a lot of people come at me.
Yeah.
People come at me.
People
too.
do come at Aaron too.
Yeah. People. You know, I'm going to take some heat for saying triplets can't be identical earlier.
Yeah, they come after you for anything. Like you just
Well,
act like
I'm-
you're the smartest guy on the planet.
Well, I do that sometimes.
yeah.
You
Well,
know,
they're right.
I look down on people, but down is where some people are.
yeah.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's an Aaron
Um.
Sorkin quote.
All right.
Yeah.
Both of these are athletes. Babe,
Jackie Robinson.
I was going to say Babe Ruth.
Okay.
Babe
Of
Ruth.
course you would.
Well, Babe Ruth.
Sorry.
Jackie Robinson. You're saying he really didn't break the color barrier?
No. I'm saying he's a okay. Dang, he spun that on me quick. That's not what I'm saying.
Well, you're coming after me for Babe
I'm
Ruth.
saying he's legendary. He's mythologized in a lot of ways, just like Babe Ruth is.
Babe Ruth is like.
But you're right, Babe Ruth. There a lot of like the story of him,
Yes.
calling his
Calling his shot.
all that kind of
when
stuff.
I was a kid,
yeah.
Babe Ruth was like the only baseball player I'd ever heard of.
You hadn't heard of Hank Aaron or Mickey Mantle?
Not
or-
for a while. Like when the Sandlot was out and they were talking about Babe Ruth, it was like you would have thought he was the only big baseball player ever.
See, I've always thought that was. I've heard somebody make this point. The Sandlot takes place in the '60s, '50s or '60s.
Mhm.
Don't you think those kids would have moved on to Mickey Mantle or somebody by then? But they still
That's a
talk
good
about
point.
Babe Ruth
That's a
like
good
he's.
point.
I don't know if a kid like Mickey Mantle's playing while they're playing. They would have moved on to him
Well, maybe
than a guy from 30 years ago.
maybe it's the history though. Mickey Mantle would have been the next generation. They're like, remember that guy?
Maybe, but I feel like those kids would have been following baseball.
I haven't seen that movie in a while.
But maybe
yeah.
it was just because of the ball.
Yeah. Yeah, no, they talk about Babe Ruth before the ball is brought
Or maybe
out.
it's the folklore. That's what we're talking
Yeah,
about.
yeah, you're right, Brian. He's definitely the
Mickey
most.
Mantle doesn't have it. 2 M's. Mickey Mouse is what we're thinking now.
Mhm.
You
That's
know?
true.
There's some legendary home runs that you went to the museum this weekend. What's it called?
I went, are you just trying to get me to say it?
I,
The Negro League Baseball Museum.
there's legends. I don't know if you saw it there.
There's a guy that got fired for going there one time, right? That announcer.
Yeah,
Remember that? I was
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
jeez.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Jeez,
That guy
that guy-
messed
And then he
I got
apologized.
messed up, man.
He apologized like 2 innings later. Like that's not who I am.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
guy was in the 3rd inning. He's not who I am.
No, different guy. Different.
Oh,
guy.
okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway,
That
there's
was
legends
wild.
about
That was wild.
Josh Gibson. Some of those guys
Mhm.
hit 700-foot home runs.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably not true, but
Yeah.
there's legendary stories about.
There's
guys
something
who
about
shoot
they
that
say
mile.
Mickey Mantle hit one like 650 feet or something, and they
That
had
was
no
before
way
they
to,
could measure.
no way to track that back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like, man, it went far.
But Babe Ruth calling his shot is the one I was.
Yeah, I don't know if there's evidence of that, right? If there's like a picture of it or anything, but it's a fun story.
Yeah. And then the guy who's still alive, at least for now, who's kind of like this, is Bo Jackson.
Yeah, you're right.
Bo Jackson's such a legendary athlete.
Yeah,
Yeah.
There's
Bo
stories
went to
about him
Auburn.
as a kid.
And right where I grew up. And yeah, I watched a Bo Jackson documentary. I don't know. Maybe it was a 30 for 30. I don't know
it's
what
called
it was.
Bo Knows.
But man, I did not
Or-
really. I mean, I just grew up everybody talking about Bo Jackson, but I really didn't know the scope of how good he was.
Yeah. He did some
And
crazy stuff.
And how tragic his career ending was. Like tragic in the sense of just seems like an injury.
yeah.
Yeah, you just got injured.
Just a little hip injury.
But they made the point in that 30 for 30 that he's almost like the Beatles, where you never saw him fade. He was just kind of taken from us.
Yes.
So there's never that the inevitable, and LeBron might be the one exception, but every other great athlete in my lifetime, there's always that kind of period at the end of their career where you're like, golly, just kind of, we're maybe in the middle of it with Aaron Rodgers right now, where you're like, come on, dude, just tap out. Never had that with him. It was just taken from us. In his prime, he's just gone. So yeah, it's a.
But I think that 30
story.
for 30 even had some stories about him as a kid that were legendary.
Yeah.
That he did some crazy stuff.
Or like, just jumping out of a pool waist deep in water and all that kind of stuff. Yeah.
But he was a freak for sure.
Now, if he dies this week.
That is on you.
That is on you.
That'd be a fair one. How old is he? Is he 60?
62.
Yeah, that'd be fair. That happens.
I think he's doing great.
And then I was thinking of other genres like, there's some guys like George Jones. I mean, a lot of it's true, but No Show Jones, there were some drinking stories. Johnny Cash, a little bit like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the Tales from the Tour Bus by Mike Judge, stories on all those country singers season 1. It's very hard to find. You can't buy it on DVD. It's very hard to find. And it's definitely not clean, but it is, if you like those country music stories, really good. Really good.
They used to do those, I guess, behind the music on MTV, and these rock bands had some legendary stories too. Ozzy Osbourne, was famously bit off a bat.
Yeah, they said he bit off a bat's head.
Yeah, he thought it was a fake. You know the story?
No, I know that he bit a bat. Did that not really happen?
He thought it was a fake rubber bat, but it was a real bat that he bit. So, I mean, I think that's true.
Yeah.
But there's probably some legendary stories about some of those guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
and we don't have to get into it now, but there's all kinds of comics where there's a mythology about them of these crazy comics, road guys and stuff
they
like
do
that.
on the road.
Yeah, there's a ton of that stuff. There's like a whole world.
Let's get into it.
We don't, stuff I don't want to talk about on the podcast.
Okay.
But yeah.
Do you have something?
No, I was going to say some of it would be hard to talk about on the podcast, and it would and just keep content
family friendly.
Safe and clear. Yeah.
Right.
Because there are, like, Rodney Dangerfield has some people will tell me once in a while they used to drive Rodney Dangerfield around, and in Vegas a guy was telling me that, and it's wild stuff.
Oh, here's one more. Plymouth Rock.
Yeah.
The Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock. That probably didn't happen. But there is a real Plymouth Rock, and you can go see it. And they were moving it, and it broke in half. It fell off the flag or something and split in half.
No, really?
What was inside?
A key.
Yeah, a key
Just
to the
a
new
big
world.
key.
Yeah.
But people over time have chipped away at it and taken it for.
Oh yeah.
But probably was not the place where the Pilgrims actually landed.
I want to say this on Bo Jackson's Wikipedia. At the top, it says not to be confused with Boo Jackson.
Oh.
And this is a retired basketball player named Boo Jackson.
Wow.
Wouldn't that be tough?
Yeah.
You try to be an athlete named Boo Jackson,
Boo knows.
and you're never going to be as good as Bo.
Well, at least if you get booed,
He played college basketball.
they're cheering for me.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're getting booed, I'm not being booed. They're saying my name.
If your
that's a
name's
great
Boo,
point.
you can never really be booed.
Yeah. How would you boo
You're
a guy
like,
named Boo? Yeah.
That's a great point,
Yeah.
Dusty.
Yeah. Middle name Hiss.
I don't usually agree with you on stuff, but that's a good point.
Yeah, occasionally I come up with something good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's about all I had.
That's about it. Wow. Another fun episode of the Nateland podcast.
This is a hot.
It was
this is a
fun
hot
talking
episode.
to you. We got into the weeds on a few things. We got into it. We learned a lot. And you know what? I think the real folk tales are the friends we made along the way. Brian Bates, where are you going to be this weekend or next? Let them know.
This weekend, I'm going to tell more than that. Sit back.
Walk me through the year, brother.
This weekend, I am in Beverly, Massachusetts at Off Cabot Comedy Club.
I don't know why it's funny.
This is what Mike Meyer's talking about, guys. I'm sorry. That's
I've never
Aaron.
heard of it. But yeah.
Oh, well.
Sorry.
That you didn't make it to this Mr.
You're right.
A room.
You're right. Yeah, I'm sorry.
Anyway, it's just outside Boston, Off Cabot Comedy Club. I'm excited to be there. 3 shows, 1 Friday, 2 Saturday. And then, I forgot to mention, if you're listening to this day of, my show tonight at Zany's. Brian Bates and Friends.
March
And
12th.
March 12th.
Okay.
So that's tonight. Then I'm in Beverly, Massachusetts this weekend. And then let's see, April 5th, I'm in Columbia, Tennessee, back on the Easier to Drive tour at the Packard Playhouse. April 11th and 12th, Detroit House of Comedy.
Nice, dude.
So-
nice. You're gonna have fun there. That's a really cool room.
Yeah, they said I could do 2 nights because I sell well. But anyway,
They took me down to one night last time out there.
so
That's fun. This weekend, I'm doing some stuff. Next weekend, I am I'm open for Kathleen Madigan.
go find him.
But I'm opening for her in places where I want to sell my own tickets. So.
Yeah.
But those shows will be great. Kathleen's great. But next weekend, I'm in
Very good.
Hartford, Connecticut at the Hartford Funny Bone. And then immediately after that, Boston, Massachusetts at Laugh Boston Comedy Club. And that's next week.
All right.
So, and then Chicago the week after that. And then some other stuff. So coming out and see me.
Mr. Mainstream over here.
Mr. Mainstream. I'm in the city.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, this weekend I'll be at the Schubert Theater in Boston, Massachusetts, and then I'll be at the Bluma Appel Theater in Toronto, Canada on Saturday.
Is your family going with you?
Hannah is going to go.
That's cool.
Oh, you're leaving the kids
We're
here.
going to leave my kids with my sister and my niece.
Okay.
We've never done that, but Hannah's going to go up for a few days, and I'm just going to go up for the day and come back. She's going to stay for a few days. And she's not been away from the kids like that ever.
Mhm.
Wow.
So,
That'll be-
but
that'll be
yeah, I wanted her to
something.
have a little time in Toronto. I think that'd be fun for her.
Definitely.
March 21st, I'm in Beaumont, Texas at the Jefferson Theater. And March 22nd, San Antonio, Texas at the Charlene McCombs Empire Theater.
Nice.
March 25th, I'm at Zany's.
All right.
Boom.
And April 8th, you're at Zany's.
April 8th, I'm at Zany's. Yeah.
I'm on that show.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah. All right.
Acting like I booked the other show. I did not.
Well, we weren't on it, so
I don't.
we'll do our own show.
I know.
We'll snub
Can
you
I be the
guys.
special host of yours?
That's probably what I am.
All right. Thank you. We love you. It's not lost on us. We'll be back next week with another edition of the Nateland podcast. Thank you all for listening. Thank you for wishing you all a pleasant evening.
All right.
Okay.
Nateland is produced by Nateland Productions and by me, Nate Bargatze, and my wife Laura on the Audio Boom platform. Recording and editing for the show is done by Genovations Media. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to catch us next week on the Nateland podcast.